Chapter 701. I don't want to die, so I'm looking for you to cooperate. The Demon Emperor saw a pair of eyes flickering with shrewd light, staring at her. She knew that Lin Mo couldn't see her, but sensed her presence. It's that eye above that discovered me. The Demon Emperor felt an attack from the soul, which came from the undead eye above. The previous encounters with Lin Mo were all fought from afar. This was the first time she felt his skills up close, which were very peculiar. The Demon Emperor generously removed her concealment, revealing her graceful figure. It's you. Lin Mo's eyes instantly became sharp. The moment the other party removed her concealment, the aura of a barrier appeared. Barrier. Abyss. Demon. Lin Mo instantly guessed the other party's identity. In the entire abyss, there was only one person who could approach him without being discovered. The Demon Emperor felt Lin Mo's hostility and was slightly surprised. Do you recognize me? Lin Mo was extremely vigilant and had already entered a fighting state, Demon Emperor. How did you guess? The Demon Emperor was even more surprised. Why was Lin Mo so sure? She knew that the two had never met. Moreover, her aura had completely changed, and it was impossible for Lin Mo to judge from her aura. She was very curious as to how Lin Mo was so sure of her identity. Could it be a guess? Impossible. Lin Mo's attitude was too certain. Lin Mo didn't answer the Demon Emperor's words. You sneaked into Divine Summer Ancient City, and followed me here. What do you want to do? As he spoke, the Ancient Thunder Outer Pagoda had already arrived in Lin Mo's hand, ready to fight at any time. The Demon Emperor retreated a distance. This emperor has no malice. Do you believe that? Lin Mo sneered. The human race and the abyss demons had more than 1,000 years of hatred, and they would fight to the death upon meeting. The Demon Emperor had tried to kill him several times, and not long ago, she had joined forces with the Dragon Emperor to try to kill him. Now she says she has no malice, which is too ridiculous. The Demon Emperor chuckled. I'm serious, I really don't have any malice this time. With this emperor's status, there's no need to lie to you. Lin Mo naturally wouldn't believe it, but he didn't act immediately. After all, he only had the power to protect himself against the Demon Emperor. Lin Mo asked in a deep voice, then what are you here for? Faced with the extremely vigilant Lin Mo, the Demon Emperor tried her best to show goodwill. I'm here to find you for cooperation. Cooperation? Lin Mo's thoughts turned, and he immediately thought of what happened 1,000 years ago. There was indeed a cooperation between the human race and the abyss demons. The two races joined forces to drive the dragon race out of the meta battlefield, cutting off all space channels. As a result, the dragon race had not been able to return for 1,000 years. Lin Mo's eyes flickered, guessing the Demon Emperor's intention. Could it be that she wanted to cooperate like she did 1,000 years ago? Now there were no demigod-level experts in the human race, and the strongest should be himself. It was not wrong to find himself for cooperation. The Demon Emperor nodded. That's right, this emperor is here to cooperate with you. Lin Mo remained vigilant and did not relax because of the Demon Emperor's words. Tell me, what do you want to cooperate on? The Demon Emperor said, before we cooperate, let's talk about the conditions first. This emperor hopes you will agree to one thing. What is it? No matter what level you reach in the future, you must not attack this emperor. Likewise, this emperor will not take the lead in attacking you or the human race. The Demon Emperor stated a condition that Lin Mo found somewhat incomprehensible. This condition sounded a bit strange. Even Lin Mo didn't understand the Demon Emperor's true intentions for a while. Explain clearly. The Demon Emperor smiled. It's just the literal meaning. Lin Mo pondered slightly and understood the Demon Emperor's meaning. Are you afraid that I will kill you in the future? The Demon Emperor didn't hide it and admitted generously. You could say that. You have Antares behind you. This emperor can't touch you. You have excellent talent and are very likely to become a super god-level powerhouse in the future, possessing the ability to kill this emperor. This emperor doesn't want to die, so I'm making friends with you in advance. Lin Mo laughed, laughing at the Demon Emperor's wishful thinking. The human race and the abyss demons become friends. 1,000 years of hatred, do you think this is possible? The Demon Emperor said, this emperor is only referring to myself, and has nothing to do with the demons in the abyss. Lin Mo was shocked. Listening to the meaning in the Demon Emperor's words, she was planning to sell out the entire abyss demons. She was the Demon Emperor, the emperor of the abyss demons. Now she actually wanted to sell her own world, which was a bit ridiculous. Lin Mo was simply listening to Arabian Nights. Even myths and stories weren't so outrageous. Seeing Lin Moyu's shocked gaze, the demon emperor chuckled, "Don't think it's impossible. In this cruel world, nothing is impossible. To show my sincerity, this emperor can give you some proof of loyalty first." Lin Moyu frowned, "What sincerity?" The demon emperor took out a memory crystal. "Here is a list, which contains the members of the Demon Worship Society." Lin Moyu took the crystal and checked it slightly, revealing surprise again. 0. There were nearly 10,000 people, involving various fields of the human race. Although they couldn't get close to the core area, there were many in the middle level, which was a bit shocking. The last great purge by Bai Yuan was far from cleaning up the Demon Worship Society. Lin Moyu asked in a deep voice, "How do I know if this is true or false?" If the list was fake, he couldn't just listen to the Demon Emperor's side of the story. The Demon Emperor had expected Lin Moyu to react like this: "You don't need to do anything, you can contact the higher-ups of the human race and see if these people are all dead, and they all committed suicide." As she spoke, the Demon Emperor pointed her finger towards the sky, and a law cut through the sky, crossing the space barrier, heading to an unknown place. Seeing the Demon Emperor suddenly use the law, Lin Moyu's heart tightened. "Wait for me outside Divine Summer Ancient City." At this time, he was no longer in the mood to level up, fanned his undead wings, and burst out his soul power, flying towards Divine Summer Ancient City. In just a few seconds, he returned to Divine Summer Ancient City, and then returned to the human world through the teleportation array of Divine Summer Ancient City. He was a 5-star god general, possessing the highest authority among the human race, and he was free to use the legendary array. His speed was too fast, and even the soldiers guarding the teleportation array didn't have time to stop him. They only felt a blur in front of their eyes, and the teleportation array had already been activated. The soldier originally wanted to stop him, but when he saw the purple god general badge on Lin Moyu's shoulder, he immediately closed his mouth. Lin Moyu returned to the human world and contacted Meng and Wen as soon as possible, telling him about the Demon Worship Society member list. Meng and Wen rushed over at the fastest speed and took the list. Just half an hour later, Meng and Wen sent a message. The content of the message shocked Lin Moyu. Nearly 10,000 people on the list had committed suicide. Some of them were from Divine Summer, and some were from other forces and countries. Just half an hour ago, they collectively committed suicide. The suicide method was very uniform, all of them cutting off their heads with weapons. While shocked, Lin Moyu realized one thing. Was the Demon Worship Society only these people on the list? Could the Demon Emperor be hiding something? Meng and Wen came to Lin Moyu again. "Xiao Yu, what happened? Where did this list come from?" Lin Moyu didn't explain the matter clearly just now. Meng and Wen was even more shocked than Lin Moyu at this time. The news from various places made Meng and Wen realize that the matter was not small. Lin Moyu had something on his mind. "I'll tell the teacher about the specific matter later. I'll go back first." Chapter 702. Do you believe that I have half-human bloodline? Outside Divine Summer Ancient City, the Demon Emperor wore a light yellow suit, revealing her small waist. When Lin Moyu came back, the Demon Emperor showed a beautiful smile. "How is it? Are you satisfied with this Emperor's sincerity?" Lin Moyu said. "Are there others?" "Guess." The Demon Emperor smiled slightly. Lin Moyu stared into her eyes, unable to guess what she was thinking. The Demon Emperor's mind was very deep and could not be seen from the surface. Lin Moyu nodded. "Okay, I have temporarily received your sincerity. Tell me about your specific cooperation method." The Demon Emperor said with a smile. "There are some things that you may not believe if I say them. I would like to invite you to my Demon Emperor Palace as a guest, where we can discuss it in detail." Lin Moyu instantly became vigilant again. The Demon Emperor Palace was the Demon Emperor's territory, in the core of the abyss. Going there was tantamount to a sheep entering a tiger's mouth, sending himself to his death. The Demon Emperor naturally knew Lin Moyu's concerns. "Some things are better seen with your own eyes. As for the safety issue, you can ask the Lord. With the Lord here, I wouldn't dare to touch you." Lin Moyu thought about various possibilities in his mind, and at the same time communicated with the Dragon Scale. "Antares, will I be in danger in the Demon Emperor Palace?" "No." Lin Moyu quickly received a definite answer from Antares. Lin Moyu also wanted to find out why the Demon Emperor suddenly came to his door, and also sent such a great gift. Most importantly, he also wanted to know if there were any members of the Demon Worshipping Society lurking within the human race. Especially in the high-level core, if there were even just 1 or 2 people, the threat to the human race and the Divine Summer Empire might be greater than the tens of thousands who committed suicide earlier. If he didn't know, it would be one thing, but now that he knew, he couldn't just sit idly by. With Antares' affirmative answer, Lin Moyu had a plan in mind. All right, I'll go with you. The Demon Emperor took out an exquisite magic stone. Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. This magic stone was the most high-end he had ever seen, actually containing the aura of law. The magic stone was activated, and a space-time channel appeared in front of the Demon Emperor. General Lin, please. The Demon Emperor addressed Lin Moyu with a human honorific for the first time, as a sign of her respect. At this moment, the Demon Emperor placed Lin Moyu on an equal footing with herself. It also showed her sincerity from the side. Lin Moyu generously entered the space-time channel. After a long-distance teleportation, before his vision had recovered, Lin Moyu felt the familiar aura of the abyss. The aura was incredibly dense, rushing from all directions and hitting him. His body felt slightly uncomfortable, as the abyss aura was incompatible with the aura on his body. It seemed to express the irreconcilable hatred between the human race and the abyss. When his vision recovered, Lin Moyu saw dark green flames, almost black abyss fire. He was already in the Demon Emperor's palace, but strangely, the Demon Emperor's palace was not what he had imagined. There were no hideous objects or any demonic features. It was very delicate, whether it was the seats, pillars, or furnishings, they were 7 or 8 parts similar to those of the human race. If it weren't for the eerie atmosphere brought by the abyss fire, it would have looked like a human palace. Do you find it strange? The Demon Emperor's voice echoed in the palace, melodious and somewhat ethereal. Lin Moyu looked at the Demon Emperor, who was still wearing a human robe revealing her slender waist. You can restore your original appearance. The Demon Emperor walked past Lin Moyu and sat on her throne, looking somewhat lazy. This is my original appearance. Lin Moyu clearly didn't believe it. The Demon Emperor smiled. I have half human blood. Lin Moyu was speechless for a moment. It wasn't right to lie through one's teeth like that. You're a dignified Demon Emperor, saying you have half human blood, aren't you deceiving ghosts? Lin Moyu felt that the Demon Emperor was treating him like an idiot, and frowned. That joke isn't funny. The Demon Emperor shook her head. I really have half human blood, but not from the human race in your world. And I can tell you, I have never personally killed a human. If you don't believe me, you can ask the Lord. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't believe it, and immediately contacted Antares. Is what she's saying the truth? Antares quickly gave Lin Moyu an answer, making Lin Moyu somewhat disbelieving. The dignified Demon Emperor, leading the Abyss Demons in a 1,000-year war against the human race, had never killed a human and possessed half-human blood herself. This was truly a huge joke. This secret was too shocking. Lin Moyu also knew why the other party was telling him this, not afraid that he would tell others. Who would believe it if he said it? In addition, with the Demon Emperor's strength, which demon in the entire abyss would dare to doubt, unless they didn't want to live? With his super acceptance ability, Lin Moyu quickly digested all the information and said, your story must be very exciting. The Demon Emperor sighed faintly. The Lord should have already told you about the origins of our abyss and the dragon race. The demons in our abyss belong to the demon race, but we are only low-level demons, belonging to the bottom of the demon race. And the abyss world is just a fragment world. While speaking, the Demon Emperor pointed her finger towards the top of the Demon Emperor's palace. A layer of barrier projected down, forming a series of images. The images were of the universe, the sun, moon, and stars, carrying a vast aura, recording the years. 2 spots of light flew from the dark universe one after another. They landed outside a world and then stuck to the world. Each spot of light was only 1/5 the size of the world, looking like the world had grown a pair of horns. The places where these horns connected with the world formed a special area. Lin Moyu saw the images and listened to the Demon Emperor's explanation, knowing that these 2 spots of light were the Abyss world and the Dragon world. And the special area formed at the connection point was the meta battlefield. The Abyss world and the Dragon world were just fragment worlds, not complete worlds, and together they were not even half the size of a real world. The Demon Emperor's voice echoed faintly. We came here with the fragment worlds, carrying a mission. The mission is to destroy the living beings in the world. No matter what kind of living beings, they must be destroyed. At that time, I was also in the fragment world, but I was just a small demon, not strong enough. When I saw that the living beings in this world were the human race, I couldn't stop the other powerful demons, so I could only choose not to act. Later, I became stronger and stronger, and became the Demon Emperor, in charge of this fragment world, but I was still powerless to stop it. This Abyss fragment world is a part separated from the main Abyss world, and it can be taken back at any time. And my strength is nothing in the main Abyss world. If I did anything that violated the Abyss, the only ending waiting for me would be death. Moreover, destroying living beings is and will engraved in the blood of the Abyss demons, it is already an instinct, and cannot be erased. Lin Moyu listened to the Demon Emperor's story and seemed to understand something. He had completely calmed down and analyzed, in the outside world, the human race and the demons of the main Abyss world are also at war. The Demon Emperor shook her head, I don't know. I have lived in the fragment world since birth and don't know much about the outside world. But I have the memory in my blood, knowing that I have half human blood. So I have been hiding myself, very carefully. Fortunately, I was born in the fragment world. We cannon fodder demons who are even worse than soldiers are not valued. If I were in the main world, I would definitely have been executed early on. If one day, the fragment world returns to the main world, I will also die. Chapter 703. This deal doesn't seem like a loss. The Demon Emperor's voice, accompanied by the constantly flickering abyss fire, seemed somewhat resentful. There was a hint of bitterness in her eyes, as if mocking her life, mocking her birth. Half human, half demon. She is not welcome in the human race, and the same is true in front of the abyss demons. Neither race would accept her kind of existence. Even if she has the appearance of a human race, she can't hide it from ordinary people, but she can't hide it from those strong people. Just like those mixed-blood dragons in the dragon world, in Antares' mouth, they are not worth a fart. The Demon Emperor continued, I know that once my identity is exposed, even if I don't return to the main abyss world, the demons here will not let me go. I thought I hid, I practiced desperately, I became the Demon Emperor, so no one could kill me. With a series of, the Demon Emperor's tone was slightly rapid. Lin Moyu heard the hardship from it. The Demon Emperor said, I built the Demon Emperor's palace, lived in it, and never showed my true face. I became the master of the fragment world, can you know how false this master is? Lin Moyu said, you don't want to die. Of course. The Demon Emperor said lightly, of course I don't want to die. I want to become a god, want to become a true god, become a more powerful existence. Until no one can kill me. Survival is the instinct of any living being, even the Demon Emperor is no exception. Her will to survive was incredibly strong, and it was this will that allowed her to achieve her current accomplishments. Lin Mo had completely understood, you don't want to die, nor do you want the human race to perish, and you certainly don't want this world to be occupied by the dragon race. No matter which happens, you will return to the main world, and what awaits you is death. The Demon Emperor continued, that's right, so I'm here to seek cooperation with you. Lin Mo said, if you don't want to die, then there is only one way, stay here forever, don't return. So you maintain the balance of the three races. 1,000 years ago, when the dragon race was strong, you helped the human race drive them out. The Demon Emperor said, yes, I had just become the Demon Emperor at the time, and this was the first thing I did. Actually, I had the opportunity to wipe out the human race back then, but I didn't do it. I even secretly killed several high-level demon kings. Also, later on, your human race produced a Zhongyi. He was not a creature of this world. I couldn't allow him to grow, so I eliminated him. And some other things, I have been maintaining balance. But the balance has been broken by you. Lin Mo knew that he had become a knife hanging over the Demon Emperor's head. With Antares behind him, the Demon Emperor didn't dare to attack him. Using a borrowed knife to kill, was the last step she could take. As a result, the Dragon Emperor wasn't strong enough and failed. As for Meng Anwen and the others, they were just extras, posing no threat to the Demon Emperor. Even if Lin Mo was killed, the Demon Emperor would ultimately not truly invade the human race's world. She wants to maintain balance. Balance is her life. The Demon Emperor continued, actually, my approach is just an escape. I was already the Demon Emperor 1,000 years ago, and I had reached the peak of the half-step transcendent god realm. In the fragmented world, I can't go any further, I can't become a transcendent god. Lin Mo said in a deep voice, you can go out. The Demon Emperor shook her head and smiled bitterly, you mean like Emperor D, going out with a slim chance of survival. No, for him it's a slim chance, for me it's certain death. I was born in a fragmented world, my soul imprint is here. The powerful demons of the main world can find me through the imprint at any time, no matter how far I hide. Her words were filled with helplessness and despair. At this moment, she didn't seem like the demon emperor, but more like a helpless girl. Her words involved some knowledge that Lin Mo didn't know. Lin Mo asked, "Then what are you going to do?" Lin Mo knew that she must have a solution, otherwise she wouldn't have taken the initiative to find him. The demon emperor said, "I have already thought of a solution, but I'm not sure if it will work. This is the only solution I can think of. Tell me about it." You become the lord of the world, devouring the fragmented world. Lin Mo was slightly startled. It was actually this method. Letting himself become the lord of the world. At this moment, Antares's voice rang in his mind, this is indeed the only way. Lin Mo asked, "But how can I become the lord of the world?" Antares chuckled, "Simple, become a transcendent god, and then I will teach you, it's not difficult. And there is a piece of the world core waiting for you to collect. If you want to become stronger and break through the limitations in the future, this is also something you must do." Lin Mo already knew the answer, but why should I help you? The demon emperor heard some different information from Lin Mo's words. She knew that Lin Mo had already gotten the answer, and that her method was feasible. The answer came from Antares, she knew. "I will give enough sincerity. When you can become the lord of the world, I will let the demons launch an attack on the dragon race. The demons and the dragon race will both suffer heavy losses. I will bring the dragon emperor's head over." Lin Mo stopped her. "No, I will take the dragon emperor's head myself." The demon emperor smiled and suddenly appeared in front of Lin Mo, extending her slender jade hand, "Happy cooperation." Happy cooperation. Lin Mo symbolically clasped her hand. Her hand was very soft and very cold. The two had already set the tone for cooperation, waiting for Lin Mo to become a transcendent god, and the cooperation would officially begin. The demon emperor did not doubt Lin Mo's words. She had investigated all of Lin Mo's deeds and knew that Lin Mo valued promises. As long as he agreed, he would not break it. After sending Lin Mo out of the abyss world and watching the space-time channel close, the demon emperor sighed quietly. Hopefully, it will succeed. After waiting for so many years, I finally see a glimmer of hope. The demon emperor's clear and melodious voice echoed in the vast demon emperor's palace. In her eyes, besides sorrow, there was also a strong killing intent. She seemed to be personally creating a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Lin Mo returned to the eternal battlefield, looking at the ancient city of Divine Sha, watching the people coming and going. This world seemed simple, but it was far more complex than imagined. Seemingly complex, but it was also being sorted out. "Antares, do you think I can succeed? I think she is a bit crazy, willing to sacrifice an entire world for herself. Hundreds of millions of demons will pave the way for her. If successful, she will move forward on a sea of blood." After a few seconds, Antares's voice rang in his mind. The voice carried a disdainful smile. "You, are just short-sighted. Such things are nothing in the eyes of the strong. That's just a fragmented world, how many creatures can there be inside? Even if you add your world, there aren't many creatures. The real powerhouses, in order to advance a bit, for a 1 in a billion chance, wiped out the entire starry sky, countless worlds. In an instant, countless creatures died. Even more powerhouses gathered tens of worlds and billions of creatures together for blood sacrifice. The resentment of the sea of blood soared to the sky, extinguishing the big stars. "What is this little scene, child's play?" Antares said it very easily, nonchalantly. Lin Mo listened with his hair standing on end. "It seems that the outside world is far more cruel than I thought." Hee, it's good to know. But Lillian has indeed done a lot of things these years, what she said is basically no problem, and she really didn't kill your human race. Of course, she did it for herself, and at the same time she knew that with me around, it was impossible to destroy your human race. Anyway, that's how it is, think about it yourself. Lillian is the demon emperor's name. Besides Antares, no one dares to call her name directly. Lin Mo nodded slightly. "I understand. This deal doesn't seem to be a loss for us at the moment." Chapter 704. Truly standing at a high position, the trade-offs to make. Lin Mo sat alone outside the ancient city for a long time. He pondered everything that had happened before, all the information he had seen, heard. Bring them together, analyze and summarize. If what the demon emperor Lillian said was true, for so many years, she had always balanced the three forces. After cooperating with the human race to expel the dragon race, she actually had the ability to destroy the human race at that time. Even if, because of the existence of Antares, she couldn't really wipe out the human race, she could at least occupy most of the human world. Keep the human race in captivity, at least make it impossible for the human race to develop again. Antares would not interfere with this. Antares said that it was only responsible for not letting the human race die out, not for anything else. But the demon emperor Lillian didn't do that. Instead, she killed several high-level demon kings, and even created the illusion that there were still strong people in the human race. This made the originally unscrupulous demon kings cautious, and finally made the abyss demons and the human race form a relative balance. The human race also developed 1,000 years ago. Although it is still weaker than the abyss demons, it is not too weak. Even more than 600 years ago, she discovered Zhang Yi, who came from outside the sky, and designed to ambush him. Because she was afraid that Zhang Yi would reach the transcendent god level and ultimately break the balance. Balance, for so many years, she had been pursuing balance. In this sense, she was the one who truly let go of the human race, allowing them to survive and develop in this era. It sounds somewhat ridiculous and unbelievable. But that's the reality. Lin Moyu had confirmed these things through Antares. The human race's most hated enemy was actually the one behind the scenes, giving the human race room to survive. It's truly ironic. Lin Moyu knew he couldn't reveal this, and even if he did, probably no one would believe him. He realized that his position was different, the things he saw had changed, and his way of thinking was even different from before. He once thought that the demon worship society was a major tumor within the human race, and if it wasn't eradicated, the human race would be in big trouble. Now it seemed, what was the demon worship society? It couldn't affect the balance between the two sides at all, and it couldn't shake the foundation of the human race. The demon worship society was like a stink bug, looking a bit smelly and dirty, but that was all. In the eyes of Demon Emperor Lillian, it was even more so, a toy that could be discarded at any time, so the cooperation hadn't even started, and to show sincerity, she discarded the demon worship society. When he stood at a different height and looked at the problem, Lin Moyu found that his heart had hardened. He had to make a choice, whether to fight the demons to the end for the past hatred of the human race, or to cooperate with the demons for the peaceful life of the future human race. This matter had to be decided, and it was a decision made by a few people. There was no need to tell too many people, it was useless. After thinking for a long time, Lin Moyu left the ancient battlefield, returned to the human race world, and returned to Bai Shen's small courtyard. In the past few days, the human race world had been pacified and had returned to its former appearance. The peaceful atmosphere accumulated over hundreds of years was restored after a period of tension. Meng and Wen and Bai Yiyuan and others were free after being busy for a few days. At this time, they and Yan Kuangsheng were drinking tea in the yard. As for the suicide incident half a day ago, it didn't involve many people from the Divine Summer Empire. Nearly 10,000 people committed suicide, but it was mainly concentrated in other forces and countries. After all, the last purge had already cleared out a large number of Demon Worship Society members. As soon as Lin Moyu came back, Meng and Wen said, "Xiao Yu, it has been investigated, the people who committed suicide half a day ago were indeed from the Demon Worship Society. They were hidden very deeply, and were missed during the last purge." Bai Yiyuan also said in a low voice, "I didn't expect the Demon Worship Society to be hidden so deeply. These people are all hidden agents, they don't move usually, and we can't detect them." Yan Kuangsheng smiled and retorted to Bai Yiyuan, "Just admit that you are blind, what hidden agents?" Bai Yiyuan hummed twice, glared at Bai Yiyuan, but this time he surprisingly endured it and didn't retort. Meng and Wen said, "Xiao Yu, you left in a hurry, is there something else going on?" Lin Moyu sat down, poured tea for the three of them, and also poured a cup for himself. "I discussed some things with Lillian." The three of them were stunned at the same time. Who is Lillian? They had never heard of this name. This name doesn't seem to appear in the historical records of the human race. Lin Moyu realized this and said casually, "Lillian is the Demon Emperor." The three of them were shocked. Bai Yiyuan even sprayed the tea in his mouth all over Yan Kuangsheng's face. He paled. "You went to see the Demon Emperor?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Yes, and I went to the Demon Emperor's palace." "Also went to the Demon Emperor's palace." Lin Moyu's light words made the three of them feel a little creepy. Going to the abyss was scary enough, but also going to the Demon Emperor's palace. And after going there, he came back safe and sound. The three of them looked at each other. They finally realized that their disciple seemed to have reached a height that they could not reach. The only one in the human race who was qualified to talk to Antares on an equal footing is Lin Mo Yu. The only one in the history of the human race who can go to the Demon Emperor's palace and come back unscathed is Lin Mo Yu. Meng and Wen took a deep breath to calm himself down. What did you discuss with the Demon Emperor? Lin Mo Yu said slowly, the Demon Emperor wants to cooperate with me. Lin Mo Yu told them about the Demon Emperor's desire to cooperate with him. However, Lin Mo Yu didn't say what he thought about this matter. He was afraid that his thoughts would affect Meng and Wen and others' judgment. While he was talking, the faces of Meng and Wen and the other two were wonderful. They seemed to be listening to a bizarre myth. It was hard to imagine that there were such big omissions in the history of the human race. Lin Mo Yu knew that even in the absence of external interference, there would inevitably be omissions in history. What's more, behind the entire human race, there is such a person behind the scenes. After a long time, Meng and Wen finally exhaled a long breath. I did feel something was wrong when I was studying the history of the human race. Thousands of years ago, the human race was not strong, and was the weakest of the three races. Especially after expelling the dragon race, the human race had to face the abyss demons alone, which can be said to be without any chance of winning. At that time, the abyss demons had the opportunity to destroy us, but they didn't. Historical records also mention the bizarre deaths of several demon kings, suspected to be hidden experts in the human race. I didn't expect it would be the Demon Emperor. Lin Mo Yu's words had completely subverted the three people's understanding of the history of the human race. Because of the existence of Antares, they all knew that what Lin Mo Yu said must be correct. Antares had been here for an unknown amount of time, and can be said to have witnessed all the rise and fall of the human race in this era. History is wrong, Antares is not wrong. Bai Yi Yuan said, so, the Demon Emperor is actually kind to our human race. Lin Mo Yu nodded, although she has her own purpose, she is indeed kind to our human race. Meng and Wen said, according to what she said, the consciousness of the abyss demons is to bring destruction, and she can't openly stop other abyss demons. In order to maintain balance, she can only choose this method. The fact is that it has given the human race time to breathe and develop, and she has not stained her hands with the blood of the human race. I think this cooperation is feasible. Chapter 705. We can't be ungrateful. Choice. Lin Mo Yu had actually made a decision, and he could even make a decision on behalf of the entire human race. But he still gave the decision-making power to Meng and Wen and the other two. After all, they are now the highest level and highest status people in the human race. He believed that they would make the right choice. Sure enough, Meng and Wen quickly made a choice. He chose to cooperate with the Demon Emperor. Bai Yi Yuan raised his eyebrows and looked at Meng and Wen. Do you mean to put down the previous hatred? Among the three, Bai Yi Yuan was the one who fought the abyss demons the hardest. Bai Yi Yuan also has the deepest hatred. Bai Yi Yuan's mind is not as good as Meng and Wen's, and his analysis of things is not as calm and rational as Meng and Wen's, and he couldn't accept it for a while. Meng and Wen looked at Bai Yi Yuan. What are we working hard for? Bai Yi Yuan snorted. That goes without saying, to fight for a piece of sky for the human race, and beat the demons so that they dare not come to our human race to run wild. Meng and Wen said, if Xiao Yu's cooperation with the Demon Emperor can be implemented smoothly, then in the future, there will be no more abyss demons, and no more dragon race. There will be no more wars, no more sacrifices. Isn't this a good thing? Bai Yi Yuan's body trembled, slightly agitated. What about the Demon Emperor? Before Meng and Wen could speak, Yan Kuangsheng had already spoken. You stonehead, why can't you understand? If there are no more abyss demons, where will there be any Demon Emperor? Meng and Wen said softly, historically speaking, the Demon Emperor has actually done a lot for our human race. Although she has selfish motives, she has done it, and we have to admit it. Lin Mo Yu nodded. That's right, without the Demon Emperor, our human race would be in a different situation. Bai Yi Yuan still couldn't fully accept it, but he didn't speak anymore. Meng and Wen glanced at him and said to Lin Mo Yu, don't pay attention to him, he will understand, his mind is slow, it takes time. Lin Mo Yu couldn't help but chuckle, it seemed like that was indeed the case. When he first met Bai Yi Yuan, he seemed so unfathomable, but Lin Mo Yu later realized he had been fooled. Meng Anwen murmured, but I still don't understand. The Demon Emperor wants to maintain balance. There are many ways to do it. Why did she choose to stand on the side of our human race? Lin Moyu said in a low voice, because she has half human blood. As soon as these words came out, Meng Anwen's expression completely froze. Bai Yuan jumped up, the solid stool under his butt shattered into powder with a bang. Yan Guangsheng also looked disbelieving. That's impossible. After a brief shock, Meng Anwen suddenly realized something and asked urgently, Xiao Yu, the human bloodline you're talking about, isn't from this world, is it? Lin Moyu nodded, it isn't. Bai Yuan and Yan Guangsheng seemed to have heard something unbelievable, looking at Lin Moyu and then at Meng Anwen. Yan Guangsheng asked, Old Meng, do you know something? Meng Anwen said in a low voice, don't worry, I'll tell you about this later. Lin Moyu had only told Meng Anwen about various information regarding the world. Meng Anwen was strong in energy contact and flexible in thinking, he could understand it with one explanation. Bai Yuan and Yan Guangsheng needed some time to accept it. Meng Anwen ignored the two confused men. In that case, it makes sense. If the plan succeeds, did she say what she intends to do? Lin Moyu said, Li Lian didn't say, but I think she will hide and wait for an opportunity to leave this world. In the fragmented world, her limit is half-step transcendent God, she can't improve any further. There's her soul imprint in the fragmented world, it's useless for her to leave now, she will still be found. Meng Anwen could understand Lin Moyu's words, although he hadn't seen it himself, he could roughly guess. Meng Anwen suddenly thought of something, soul imprint. I remembered something, the method of planting soul imprints seems to have only appeared in the human race 1,000 years ago. It was also because of this method that our human race avoided a lot of damage. Could it be that this method was also her? Lin Moyu nodded, yes, she gave it to us. Hiss. Meng Anwen said in a deep voice, there's no need to discuss this matter any further, let's just follow her plan. Meng Anwen's words settled the matter. Lin Moyu had also basically guessed that this would be the result. I understand, don't tell anyone else about this matter except for us. Of course, they're not qualified to know. Meng Anwen also knew that the more people who knew, the more troublesome it would be. It's difficult to please everyone, everything must have trade-offs. As the strongest among the human race, they must lead the human race towards the brightest direction. Some sacrifices are inevitable, letting go of hatred is also inevitable. Just like the cooperation with the Abyss Demons 1,000 years ago, didn't both sides do it? After Lin Moyu left, Bai Yuan and Yan Guangsheng stared at Meng Anwen with their eyes fixed. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers AAA0. They still had a bellyful of questions. Meng Anwen sighed softly, the reason I didn't tell you is because I was afraid you wouldn't be able to accept it. If you want to know, first prepare yourself mentally. Bai Yuan said with disdain, you can accept it, what can't I accept? Yan Guangsheng said, speak, we've lived for half our lives, what else can we not bear? Meng Anwen nodded, what level do you think the strongest should be? Bai Yuan said without hesitation, of course it's transcendent God level, the human race just lacks a transcendent God, otherwise it would definitely be able to suppress the Abyss Demons and the Dragon race. Meng Anwen smiled, then what level do you think Lord Antares is? Yan Guangsheng knew that Meng Anwen was referring to Antares, it should also be transcendent God, perhaps a very powerful member of the transcendent God level. 0. Meng Anwen shook his head, transcendent gods are like ants in Lord Antares' eyes, he can kill a large group with one breath. Impossible. No way. Meng Anwen chuckled softly, sit tight, I'll tell you slowly. Lin Moyu returned to Divine Summer Ancient City again. His cooperation with the Demon Emperor had been confirmed, now he was waiting for his realm to improve. This was the prerequisite for cooperation, if he couldn't become a transcendent god, couldn't become the lord of the world, the Demon Emperor's so-called cooperation would be a joke. Lin Moyu had also thought that if he reached the transcendent god level, he could completely not cooperate with the Demon Emperor. He would be enough to kill all the dragon race and abyss demons. Even killing the Dragon Emperor and Li Lian wouldn't be a problem. But after knowing what Li Lian had done for the human race, he gave up this idea. A drop of kindness should be repaid with a spring, no matter what her purpose, Li Lian did do a lot for the human race. This point must be acknowledged. And Li Lian had never killed a single human, on the contrary, because of her, many humans were reborn. Therefore, Lin Moyu couldn't kill Li Lian, he couldn't do such an ungrateful thing. While pondering, he had already left Divine Summer Ancient City, the wings of the undead unfolded, crossing the continent, passing through the Wind and Thunder Sea, heading to Wind and Thunder Continent. Before long, the undead legion appeared on Wind and Thunder Continent again, and began to slaughter the Thunder Tree group and Wind Flower group. This was the fastest way to level up that Lin Mo Yu could currently find. Under the undead legion's butcher knife, Lin Mo Yu's experience was soaring like a rocket. For thousands of years, Lin Mo Yu was the only one who could use the Thunder Tree group and Wind Flower group to level up. Chapter 706, The Strongest Path, also the most difficult path. Wind and Thunder Continent is also a god's graveyard. The thunder within represented the god of thunder, who had now truly turned to ashes. Lin Mo Yu would never forget her fortitude. That kind of heartbroken, mournful helplessness shocked Lin Mo Yu. Especially after learning about the gods' past, Lin Mo Yu felt a pang of heartache. Although they were just gods, not humans. But they were the human race's earliest comrades, the beginning of this era. They faced crises, fighting side by side with the human race. Those who fell, fell, those who slept, slept. Among the human race, there were also those who changed their bloodline and became gods. Most of the gods in that era became the human race's best comrades. Like the human race, they were born from this era, possessed the imprint of this era, and had a sense of belonging to this era. Lin Mo Yu was the same. Even though they were both human, Lin Mo Yu didn't have much of a 143 feeling towards the previous era. But he had different feelings for the human race of this era. This was the imprint of the era, the imprint of an entire era. Lin Mo Yu didn't feel this until his soul became a god. The god of thunder was dead, and the god of wind should also be sleeping in Wind and Thunder Continent. Lin Mo Yu didn't want to look for it, he didn't know where it was. There was no way to revive it now, finding it would be useless, even harmful. Just let it continue to sleep, and when he had the ability to revive them, he would wake them up. Coming to Wind and Thunder Continent again, Lin Mo Yu continued to attack the Thunder Tree group and Wind Flower group. However, Lin Mo Yu did not provoke the Thunder Tree groups in the Thunder Mountain range. Although that place had the most thunder trees, a terrifying existence also slumbered beneath the mountain range. It was the Thunder God's former mount, sleeping due to severe injuries, and its resting place was arranged by Antares. There seemed to be some connection between them. Regardless of the reason, Lin Mo Yu didn't want to cause it any more trouble. Lin Mo Yu only targeted the Thunder Tree groups on the periphery and the encountered Wind Flower groups. Although the efficiency was lower, it was enough for leveling up. The entire Wind and Thunder Tree spanned thousands of kilometers, with an unknown number of Thunder Trees and Wind Flowers. For centuries, very few people had come to conquer them, allowing their groups to grow stronger. Now, all of them were benefiting Lin Mo Yu, becoming his possessions. Experience began to soar again. According to Lin Mo Yu's estimation, it wouldn't take a day to level up, from level 79 to level 80. At that time, it would be another qualitative leap. Level 80 would grant new skills, and it was also the level at which most professionals mastered their most powerful skills. Level 90 was the realm of gods, with no new skills. Level 80 was also the last chance for professionals to awaken and master new skills. Almost all professionals would spare no effort to master their new level 80 skills at this level. After level 80, they would begin to embark on the path to becoming gods. Also at level 80, many professionals would begin to come into contact with the soul. They needed to comprehend the soul, understand its essence, and enhance its level. Using their powerful souls, they would touch the skill space and find the origin of the skills. Finally, they would move the skill star cores out of the skill space and transform ordinary skills into soul skills, which Antares called spells. When a skill was transformed into a spell, even with only a 1% fusion rate, magical changes would occur. The power of the skill would greatly increase, and its effects would be completely different. Until they reached the peak of level 89, moving and transforming a skill star core would allow them to become a demigod. 2 skill star cores would allow them to truly step into godhood. At that time, it would be a new world. However, merely 2 skill star cores, 2 source skills, were only the weakest gods of the same level. Among those of the same level, the more source skills one had, the stronger they were. Bai Yi Yuan and Yan Kuangsheng were both level 95 and also possessed 3 source skills, making them stronger than Yi Hao, who was of the same level. Meng and Wen, because he was a dual-class god, possessed 4 source skills, making him even more powerful in battle. As for Lin Mo Yu, the path he wanted to take was completely different from ordinary people. He wanted to transform all skill star cores into source skills, and even bring the 3 talents out of the mysterious talent space. Only in this way could he achieve perfect godhood, possess combat power that ordinary people could not match, and truly pave the way for future strength. 10,000 methods, converging to the same origin, ultimately lead to the same destination. Lin Mo Yu's eyes flickered slightly, his gaze lowered. The undead army was fighting fiercely, constantly killing thunder trees, and experience was rapidly increasing. His leveling speed was hundreds of times faster than other professionals. What took others a year, he only needed a day. As long as there were enough monsters, leveling speed was not a problem. Lin Mo Yu didn't care about the battlefield, he was pondering what Antares had said. There is more than one way for humans to level up. Regardless of the method, they are all to reach the final destination. The rules of each world are different. In my world, the path I took is the strongest path, and also the most difficult path. Only when I have completed this path can I enter the greater world in the future and walk more smoothly on the path of the greater world. But I have a premonition. Lin Mo Yu raised his head and looked at the sky. My path will not be so simple. As leveling up approached, the feeling of being suppressed reappeared. The higher the level, the more obvious the feeling of being suppressed. This was a suppression that even Antares couldn't find the source of, which could only mean that the source level was very high, exceeding the level Antares was at. When Lin Mo Yu told Antares about this feeling, Antares thought Lin Mo Yu's feeling was wrong. But now, Lin Mo Yu clearly felt the suppression again. Moreover, he was very sure that the suppression came from the depths of his soul. It was like a curse, always 1/4 C, ing him, rooted in the deepest part of his soul. It was just that the level was too high, and even now, Lin Mo Yu had not been able to find its trace. Groups of wind flowers and thunder trees were wiped out, and a day later, Lin Mo Yu's body glowed with the light of leveling up. Different from any previous level up, this time the level up emitted a golden light, revealing a heavy golden light, brilliant and dazzling. The golden light originated from the soul, emitted from the soul, spread throughout the body, and then emerged from the skin. Lin Mo Yu's whole body was shrouded in golden light, turning into a golden man. Level 80 was a threshold, the threshold where the soul first cried out. 2.8 Starting from this level, one had to start dealing with the soul. The focus of cultivation changed from monster killing and leveling up to soul comprehension. Of course, monster killing still had to be done, and monster killing was still the source of experience, and experience was the power of the soul. This was the rule of the world, and no one could avoid it, at least in this world. Lin Mo Yu felt that at the same time as leveling up, the power of the soul suddenly increased by a large margin. The increase was so great that it exceeded the total increase of the previous several levels. Even if he had leveled up 3 levels before, the total amount of soul improvement was only this much. Level 80 was a qualitative change, indeed. Along with the improvement of the soul, Lin Mo Yu sat in the air and began to comprehend. Others needed to try to find and touch the skill space at this level, and it would take a long time to explore, and they might not be successful. But Lin Mo Yu was like a robber, kicking open the door of the skill space, and the huge power of the soul he carried descended. Chapter 707 I'm going to fight you. The power of the soul was at level 80, not much stronger than other professionals. But the level of the soul was different, and the same power of the soul had completely different effects. It was like a pound of wood and a pound of iron. They both weighed a pound, but a pound of iron could easily smash a pound of wood. Now Lin Mo Yu was in this state, his soul power was many times more refined than other level 80 professionals. Even a professional who had just become a god was not as good as Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu's soul level had reached level 93, reaching the category of a mid-level god. The power of the soul came over like a robber, familiar with the road. The door to the skill space had already been opened, and in the face of Lin Mo Yu's strength, there was no defensive power. Lin Mo Yu came in this time not to grab skill star cores, but to find skill star cores that had not yet been activated and ignited. He was level 80, and the remaining skill star cores should be ignited. Lin Mo Yu also wanted to see what his level 80 skills were like. With some expectation, the power of the soul rushed to the deepest part of the skill space. None. Lin Mo Yu was a little strange. In the deepest part of the skill space, he didn't find any skill star cores that hadn't been ignited. Did his level 80 not have new skills? That shouldn't be. The skill space was not large, and even if the unlit skill star cores were small, it wouldn't be difficult to find them. The power of the soul spread out like a large net, layer upon layer, not letting go of every inch of space. The flowing soul power swept past one shining skill star core after another, but to no avail. Lin Moyu felt even stranger, as if he had seen something incredible. Level 80 with no skills. My skills stop here. Impossible. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't believe it. He wasn't someone who gave up so easily. The next second, Lin Moyu thought of the suppressive force he felt. It seemed as if some power was obscuring his senses. Especially now, just after leveling up, his soul power had greatly increased, and his soul's senses were incredibly sharp, allowing him to clearly feel the power of suppression. The feeling of suppression was unpleasant, clouding his perception. Lin Moyu began a new round of searching, even more carefully than before. His soul power continuously searched the skill space, meticulously examining every clue. Lin Moyu sat in midair, silent and still, without any movement. The light from his level up had long disappeared, but Lin Moyu remained motionless. Days passed, and Lin Moyu sat for 5 days straight. The Undead Legion, under the command of the Lich General, formed a defensive circle, their most loyal protectors. Layer upon layer, they protected Lin Moyu. Anyone who approached would be considered an enemy. In these 5 days, Lin Moyu had searched the skill space over and over again, but still found nothing. However, the more it was like this, the more strange Lin Moyu felt. He had too much confidence in himself. He believed he couldn't possibly not have an level 80 skill. Moreover, in these 5 days, the feeling of suppression hadn't diminished at all, it had even intensified. It was as if it wouldn't retreat unless he gave up. Lin Moyu decided to fight it out. Since you won't retreat, then I'll search even harder. 5 days later, Lin Moyu took out Antares' dragon scale and activated it. The Undead Legion collectively disappeared, and Lin Moyu vanished instantly, appearing next to Antares the next second. Antares sensed Lin Moyu's aura and opened his eyes slightly. Kid, you're level 80 now. Antares wasn't surprised that Lin Moyu had reached level 80. Leveling up wasn't difficult. If he wasn't tied down with trivial matters, leveling up would be easy for Lin Moyu. However, the next second, Antares sensed that Lin Moyu's condition wasn't right. Kid, are you alright? Lin Moyu didn't answer. He was frowning, seemingly in a special state. Antares fully opened his eyes, and golden light shone from his huge dragon eyes, enveloping Lin Moyu like a searchlight. Lin Moyu was infinitely magnified in his vision, and Antares instantly saw all of Lin Moyu's condition clearly. At his level, as long as he wanted to see clearly, it was the same regardless of whether Lin Moyu wanted it or not. He saw Lin Moyu's soul, and Lin Moyu's soul was also frowning. Come in. Lin Moyu seemed to sense Antares' gaze, and squeezed out a voice from his soul. Antares didn't hesitate and instantly entered Lin Moyu's soul world. Lin Moyu's soul voice resounded mightily throughout the soul world. You watch over my soul, I'm fighting against the power that's suppressing me. Antares frowned. He was just a thought in Lin Moyu's soul, and couldn't exert much power. Although a thought could see and hear, it could only see and hear. I need more power to come in, Antares said. Lin Moyu didn't hesitate at all. Come. A simple word, but it contained complete trust in Antares. Antares let out a dragon roar, and soul power surged like a raging wave. It quickly condensed into a physical body in Lin Moyu's soul world, and a purple golden dragon appeared in the soul world. This was a condensation of Antares' soul power, and could be regarded as Antares' soul clone. With enough power, Antares could use some of his abilities. The divine dragon burst out with brilliant light, instantly rendering Lin Moyu's soul space purple gold. A huge dragon eye appeared in the soul world, and in the dragon eye was the shadow of Lin Moyu's soul. Divine Dragon Eye. Antares used his spell, Divine Dragon Eye. Antares said, focus on your own business, I'll watch over here. Okay. Lin Moyu was very relieved, his soul instantly fell silent, and all his mind entered the skill space. Lin Moyu began searching again for the 120-star nucleus skill that should exist. He didn't believe that he didn't have an level 80 skill. He used all his soul power to search, determined to find it. The more soul power he used, the more obvious the suppression he could feel. That inexplicable feeling was as if it was really against him, getting stronger and stronger. Antares stared closely at Lin Moyu's soul. The Divine Dragon Eye was a dragon race spell, known as Under the Wise Eye. Nothing can be hidden. At Antares' level, he believed that nothing could hide from him. However, Lin Mo Yu had told him before that there was an abnormality, but he hadn't found anything at the time, and said that Lin Mo Yu's feeling was wrong. But now that Lin Mo Yu was like this again, he had to believe Lin Mo Yu's feeling. Having reached level 80, with a soul level of 93, how could his feeling be easily wrong? Did I miss something? Antares thought, watching incredibly carefully. Lin Mo Yu had mobilized more than 99% of his soul energy, without reservation. There was nothing left in his soul. In this state, Antares finally noticed a slight clue. Found it. Hidden so deeply, let me see what it is. He saw a point, and then the divine dragon eye was fully activated, and this thing was constantly magnified in his vision. After being magnified millions of times, he finally saw this thing clearly. Antares suddenly exclaimed, and the divine dragon eye collapsed with a bang. Chapter 708. Are you afraid I'll despair if you say it? Antares' exclamation resounded throughout Lin Mo Yu's soul world. His voice was filled with fear, as if he had seen something terrifying. But now Lin Mo Yu was completely immersed in the skill space, and didn't hear it. The soul clone condensed by Antares seemed to be trembling, accurately speaking, shivering. It seemed to be afraid. Not only the soul clone, but even his main body was afraid. Great World Curse, how could it be the Great World Curse? Kid, what is your background, how could you be cursed by the Great World? The image he saw haunted his mind. It was a rune, an extremely simple yet extremely complex rune. There weren't many who could recognize this rune, and unfortunately, Antares was one of them. Antares could tell at a glance that it was a Great World rune, representing the most profound and most primitive runes of the Great World. The Great World rune also had another meaning, which was the most fundamental power of this Great World, the most primitive rule, the source of everything, the ancestor. The Great World was not the small world where Lin Mo Yu was located. The difference between the two was like the sea and seawater, and it was impossible to describe or imagine. There was a legend in the Great World that whoever could control the Great World rune could become the master of the Great World and become the supreme existence. I don't know how many invincible powerhouses have tried to master the Great World rune, but all ended in failure. But over the countless years, there are still invincible powerhouses who followed in their footsteps to try and fight for it. Controlling the Great World rune is the end of the road for the strong. Not to mention controlling it, it is very difficult to even see the Great World rune. It can be said that among all the invincible powerhouses in the Great World, more than 90% have never seen it. Antares had seen it once by chance. That was at the ceremony to worship the ancestral dragon. The ancestral dragon manifested, and there was an imprint of a Great World rune on its body. It was not a real rune, just an imprint. At that time, Antares was still young and not as powerful as it is now. But this scene was forever etched in its memory, and it was difficult to forget even after countless years. Later, it learned that this was the Great World rune, and not everyone was qualified to see the Great World rune. But Lin Mo Yu now has a Great World rune in his soul, but this rune has not brought any benefits to Lin Mo Yu, only a curse. The terrifying power of the curse instantly destroyed the divine dragon eye of wisdom just now. Antares finally knew that Lin Mo Yu's feeling was not wrong, and he was indeed cursed. But why did the Great World rune curse Lin Mo Yu? Lin Mo Yu was such an insignificant existence. Even the world where Lin Mo Yu was located was just a drop of water to the Great World, and Lin Mo Yu was just an inconspicuous one in this drop of water. Why did the Great World rune curse him, suppress him? What is the origin of Lin Mo Yu? Antares was extremely curious, but it knew that it would not be able to figure it out even if it racked its brains. Even Lin Mo Yu himself does not know the answer. Antares looked at Lin Mo Yu's soul and kept thinking about countermeasures. Faced with the curse of the Great World rune, what should it do? Should it give up on Lin Mo Yu now, or what should it do? Since Lin Mo Yu was cursed by the Great World rune, his future was destined to be bleak. No matter what Lin Mo Yu's identity is, it seems that it is no longer important, and there is no light in the future. If it helps Lin Mo Yu, will it also be implicated? This is the Great World rune. Back then, even the ancestral dragon, Antares, who knew some of the inside story, felt deep fear. What to do? What should it do? Antares was very conflicted. Lin Mo Yu was still searching for his skill star cores in the skill space. But Antares already knew that Lin Mo Yu was destined to return empty-handed and could not succeed, unless. Antares knew Lin Mo Yu's character and would never give up. If it doesn't succeed once, it will try a second time. If it tells him the truth, Lin Mo Yu may collapse in faith, but more likely he will stubbornly resist. But to fight against the Great World Rune, that is to fight against the entire Great World. Will there be hope? Antares' memories were churning, and its eyes were flickering constantly. Scenes of memories flooded in. We are friends. I'll help you kill your way back. Regardless of right or wrong, whoever you want to kill, I will help you kill. Because we are friends. I believe you, I believe everything. Lin Mo Yu's words were like waves churning endlessly. Antares' eyes gradually became firm, and after a few seconds, it made a decision. Its main body snorted softly, and a huge force descended from the sky and landed on Lin Mo Yu. The undead army in the summoning space collectively collapsed, and then came back to life. Then the second attack, the third, the fourth. With 4 consecutive attacks, purple light suddenly flickered on Lin Mo Yu, and the all-round regeneration talent was activated. Without the undead aura of the elemental lich, there was no need to kill 5 times, 4 times was enough. In the soul world, the originally empty soul became full again. However, after the regeneration, Lin Mo Yu's consciousness was also forcibly pulled back. Lin Mo Yu's soul opened its eyes. What's wrong? Antares' eyes were thoughtful. I have found the reason. I am thinking, should I tell you the answer? Antares' tone was slightly heavy, making Lin Mo Yu realize the seriousness of the matter. You are afraid that I can't bear it? Lin Mo Yu asked in a deep voice. It's easy to talk to smart people. With one sentence, Lin Mo Yu already knew why. Antares nodded and did not speak. Lin Mo Yu chuckled. There's no need to be like that. My ability to withstand things is not as bad as you think. Antares said, this answer is very desperate. There is no complete despair in the world. I'm just afraid of not knowing anything. As long as I know, I can always find a way to find hope. Lin Mo Yu didn't care at all. He just wanted to know the answer. Antares thought for a while. Okay, then I'll tell you. There is indeed a curse in your soul. Lin Mo Yu had checked his soul countless times, but never found it. The level of the curse is very high, right? Very, very, very high. Antares used 3, very, in total, representing its attitude. Jiao ma jiao, how high is it? Don't beat around the bush, say it all in one breath, let me see how desperate it can be. Lin Mo Yu seemed to have lost his patience and was a little impatient. It's better to say everything at once than to say it one sentence at a time. Lin Mo Yu doesn't like to cut meat with a blunt knife. Antares let out a dragon roar, took a deep breath, and finally spoke. Okay, I'll say it slowly. There is a curse in your body. The curse is just an appearance. Its core is the Great World Rune. The Great World Rune is the core power of the Great World and the thing that all invincible powerhouses are pursuing. However, no one has ever succeeded. I don't know why the Great World Rune appeared in your body, and the Great World Rune is still cursing you. But with this rune, you are opposed by the entire Great World. Antares finally said everything in one breath. After saying it, it breathed a long sigh of relief and finally relaxed. After Lin Mo Yu heard it, he slowly uttered 2 words, that's it. Chapter 709, Excitement and Fear. Antares let out another dragon roar, full of surprise. Lin Mo Yu's answer made it feel strange. Aren't you afraid? Lin Mo Yu shook his head. What's the use of being afraid? Besides, I guessed it long ago. How could you guess it? Antares didn't believe it at all. What's so strange about that? Back then, you couldn't even see what was going on with my body, so I already guessed that my problem might be serious. Now you're telling me it's the Great World Rune. Although I don't know how terrifying the Great World Rune is, it must be very terrifying. But so what? Anyway, this thing is already here. All I can do is 2 things. One is to accept reality and give up struggling, which is to accept fate. The other is not to give up and continue to struggle. Even if I'm just an ant, I'll still pierce through this sky. Besides, didn't you say that the invincible powerhouses in the Great World are all pursuing it? Since it's in my soul, it might even be a good thing. Lin Mo Yu didn't show any fear, as if he was talking about something very ordinary. Antares was once again shocked by Lin Mo Yu's words. It couldn't imagine how Lin Mo Yu could accept it so calmly. For anyone else, it should be despair, but in Lin Mo Yu's eyes, there was no despair at all. All it could see was fighting spirit. 023. At this moment, some kind of emotion was also stirred up in Antares' heart. The decision made earlier became even firmer. Antares said in a deep voice, since that's the case, then let's try to pierce through the sky. Lin Moyu said, you can actually stay out of this. Antares shook its dragon head, you said it, we're friends. It emphasized the word, friends, very heavily, so heavily that Lin Moyu couldn't refuse. Since he couldn't refuse, then let's do it together. Give it your all, and even if you fail, you won't regret the effort. It's better than giving up directly without even trying, otherwise how could you be content? Then tell me, what should I do? Antares said, in our dragon race, there is a secret technique that can temporarily put the soul into a state of slumber and cut off all contact with the outside world. Using this secret technique in conjunction with the soul-splitting technique, you might be able to temporarily get rid of the curse of the Great World Rune. Lin Moyu thought for a moment, you mean, I use the soul-splitting technique to split off a wisp of my soul, and then put my consciousness into this wisp of soul. Then, I put my main soul into a state of slumber and cut off all contact. So that the Great World Rune thinks my soul is already asleep, and therefore no longer interferes. And the wisp of consciousness that I split off enters the soul space and activates the skill star nucleus. Antares nodded, that's right. In addition to that, some other means are also needed. Lin Moyu had already completely guessed Antares' idea. It's not just the soul-splitting technique and the dragon race's secret technique that need to be combined, but also the corresponding soul container. The most important thing is his own comprehensive rebirth talent. Without this talent, everything would be impossible. Antares began to prepare. A huge dragon scale flew out of the thick fog and came in front of Antares. Antares breathed out dragon breath, and the dragon scale immediately burst into flames. The dragon scale exploded in the dragon breath, splitting into 10 pieces. The 10 pieces of dragon scale fragments constantly changed shape in the dragon breath, eventually turning into pieces of transparent crystal. It didn't end there. Antares continued to use dragon breath to constantly bake the crystals, removing impurities. It baked like this for 3 days and 3 nights. The crystal, which was originally bigger than Lin Moyu's body, became only the size of a fist. The shape also changed, turning into the appearance of a divine dragon. It looked exactly like a dragon soul crystal, except it had no color. Antares took the colorless dragon soul crystal and re-entered Lin Moyu's soul world. Put your soul power into it through the 9-colored dragon soul crystal. Antares sent the colorless dragon soul crystal to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu felt an unusual aura from it. These colorless dragon soul crystals could store soul power. And the 9-colored dragon soul crystal had the effect of purifying soul power. Lin Moyu immediately poured a large amount of soul power into the 9-colored dragon soul crystal. The 9-colored dragon soul crystal immediately began to spit out dragon breath, injecting mouthfuls of purified soul power into the colorless dragon soul crystal. Antares said, these colorless dragon soul crystals are tools that our dragon race uses to temporarily store soul power dai. They don't have much use and can only be used in emergencies. For the dragon race, colorless dragon soul crystals were not very useful. They could only temporarily store soul power, and there weren't many places to use them. But now, it was just right for Lin Moyu to use them. There is no useless thing, only useless places. Lin Moyu sent his soul power into the colorless dragon soul crystal without reservation. One colorless dragon soul crystal was just enough to store all of Lin Moyu's soul power. After injecting soul power, the dragon soul crystal, which originally had no color, appeared with color. Golden soul energy flowed slowly in the dragon soul crystal, setting off the dragon soul crystal like a beautiful jade. While Lin Moyu was injecting soul power, Antares wasn't idle either. It once again activated its divine dragon eye and stared at the entire process without blinking. It was afraid that the curse power of the Great World Rune would also enter the dragon soul crystal along with Lin Moyu's soul power. Fortunately, it didn't. The soul power had been purified by the 9-colored dragon soul crystal and had become incomparably pure. After it was completely over, it was still not at ease and looked at it in detail for a while before confirming that there were no problems. It said, I'm going to kill you. Lin Moyu nodded, do it. As soon as he finished speaking, Antares' power had already crashed down. The undead legion collectively collapsed. Antares' attacks came wave after wave. After 4 such attacks, Lin Moyu was wrapped in purple light and was reborn in the flames of his talent. After being reborn, Lin Moyu poured his soul power into the second colorless dragon soul crystal. Antares continued to stare at the entire process with its divine dragon eye, ensuring that there were no problems throughout the entire process. The Great World Rune was not only powerful, but also strange. No one knew what would happen, and no one could guarantee that there would be no accidents. Antares was full of fear and apprehension towards the Great World Rune, and it didn't dare to relax in the slightest throughout the entire process. This was an act of opposing the Great World Rune. In addition to fear, Antares also had a faint excitement. It felt like it was creating a miracle, doing something that others wouldn't even dare to think about. Old guys, if you knew what I'm doing now, you'd probably be scared out of your dragon horns. You value the Great World Rune so much, everyone is pursuing the Great World Rune, but I insist on opposing it. Antares hummed in its heart, its eyes flashing with excitement. The two cooperated seamlessly, using the comprehensive rebirth talent again and again to store a large amount of soul power into the colorless dragon soul crystal. As a temporary container for soul power, the colorless dragon soul crystal could only last for a few days. The soul power inside would gradually dissipate. These short few days were enough for Lin Moyu to use. After just half a day, 10 dragon soul crystals, filled with soul power and exuding golden light, had been completed. Each one contained Lin Moyu's entire soul power. Purple light flashed, and Lin Moyu was reborn from his talent once again. His soul was full again. Antares was very serious and said in a deep voice, "Next is the most important step. You have to control the amount well, it can't be too much, and it can't be too little. Too much will attract the attention of the Great World Rune, and too little will mean you can't control your soul power, or even form a complete consciousness." Chapter 710. Sleep, sleep, no worries when you fall asleep. Like Antares, Lin Moyu was also a little dignified at this time. If this step wasn't done well, all the previous preparations would be in vain. Lin Moyu used the soul calming technique, carefully splitting a trace of soul from his soul body. Neither more nor less is acceptable. The difficulty is extremely high. If it were in the past, when Lin Moyu had just mastered the soul-splitting technique, he would not have been able to do it. But now, thanks to the cultivation of the undead wings skill, his control over soul power has greatly improved. His understanding of the soul calming technique is also completely different from before. That's why this plan is possible. Strands of soul force split from the main body, forming soul clones. The soul clones gradually solidified, turning into a second Lin Moyu. The second Lin Moyu was obviously smaller than the main body, and appeared somewhat illusory due to insufficient soul power. Previously, he could split off 10 strands of soul, but those strands didn't carry consciousness. Now, the split soul needs to carry consciousness, making it a completely different level of difficulty. Lin Moyu was very careful, doing it little by little. After spending a full half day, he finally split off a complete soul clone. Antares still stared at the entire process with his divine dragon eye, and only after Lin Moyu nodded at him with the soul clone did Antares breathe a long sigh of relief. The Great World Rune was still in Lin Moyu's soul body, without any movement. Obviously, the Great World Rune had no interest in the soul clone. The soul clone was too weak, less than 1% of the main body, not worth paying attention to. Antares said in a low voice, "Next, I will use a secret technique to put your soul body into a deep sleep. Your consciousness will be impacted by the secret technique. If you can't withstand it, your consciousness will fall asleep with the soul body, and your soul clone will collapse at the same time." Lin Moyu knew that it would not be easy to deceive the Great World Rune. Now, he could only take it one step at a time. But he was full of confidence, and like Antares, he was a little excited. "Let's begin." Lin Moyu took a deep breath. The soul state didn't need to breathe at all, it was just his habit. The main body and the clone inhaled at the same time, making it look a little funny. Antares let out a soft hum, and a divine dragon appeared in the soul world. The divine dragon spewed out balls of mist, turning into dark clouds that floated towards Lin Moyu, completely enveloping Lin Moyu's soul body. Secret technique, cloud of non-consciousness. According to Antares, the cloud of non-consciousness can block all senses, putting the target into a deep sleep that is difficult to resist. Moreover, the cloud of non-consciousness cast by him was many levels higher than what Lin Moyu knew. Lin Moyu's soul body had no power to resist, and fell into a deep sleep almost instantly. Once asleep in the cloud of non-consciousness, the 6 senses would be shut down, leading to complete unconsciousness. If no one woke them up, sleeping for thousands of years would be normal. Lin Moyu kept Antares' words in mind, and the clone's consciousness tried hard to stay awake, fighting against the sleepiness. Antares also kept a close eye on it. Once the main body fell asleep, the Great World Rune seemed to lose its activity. The result was similar to what was expected, and Antares breathed a sigh of relief. Then, its attention turned to Lin Moyu's soul clone. The soul clone was fighting against the sleepiness transmitted from the main body. "Hold on, you must hold on," Antares said softly, without much confidence, because it was too difficult. Lin Moyu's soul level was not high enough, and his strength was weak, making it very difficult. But now, he had to do it. Lin Moyu's soul clone trembled constantly, showing that he was giving it his all. But the sleepiness brought by the cloud of non-consciousness was too strong, and Lin Moyu was gradually unable to hold on. The sleepiness grew stronger and stronger. In the darkness, Lin Moyu seemed to hear someone constantly telling him, "Sleep, sleep, there will be no worries when you fall asleep." Suddenly, a ray of purple light flew from the depths of his soul, crossing time and space, and landed on Lin Moyu's soul clone. Lin Moyu shuddered and suddenly woke up. Antares showed a look of shock. This purple light came very strangely, and the aura contained in the purple light was extremely vast, not much worse than the Great World Rune. And Antares could see at a glance that the main body of the purple light was a purple spark. Antares wanted to find the source of the purple light, but could not find it. Its appearance was very abrupt, and then it disappeared abruptly. It could be said that it did not leave a trace, and was extremely mysterious. Even Antares did not know where it came from. The purple light was just a spark, an insignificant spark. After rushing into the soul clone, the original sleepiness disappeared instantly, and Lin Moyu was completely awake. The influence of the cloud of non-consciousness completely disappeared. "How is it?" Antares asked in a deep voice. Lin Moyu nodded. "We can proceed to the next step." Lin Moyu saw the purple light flying towards him when he was falling asleep, and vaguely guessed the origin of the purple light. "0 seeking fresh flowers. Talent world, the most mysterious place in one's soul. In the talent world, there are 3 purple flames, representing one's 3 unique talents. Most importantly, one's system is also in the talent world. The spark that turned into purple light just now should be related to them. No matter what, now that he was awake, he had to proceed to the next step first. Other things had to be put on hold. Lin Moyu knew what was important. According to the plan that had been arranged in advance, Lin Moyu's soul clone came to the skill space. 10 colorless dragon soul crystals filled with soul power followed closely behind. The soul power possessed by the soul clone itself was very little, less than 1% of the main body. However, at this time, the clone was only used as a medium. 0. The clone communicated with one of the dragon soul crystals, and the soul power stored inside surged out, covering the entire skill space at an alarming speed. Lin Moyu had to hurry, who knew how long the effect of the cloud of non-consciousness would last. After all, the opponent was the Great World Rune, the most fundamental force of the entire Great World. Perhaps even those old men riding green oxen had not discovered the existence of the Great World Rune on their bodies. If it woke up and intervened again, he would have no chance at all. Race against time? No, even 0.01 seconds could determine the future of life and death. The first dragon soul crystal was activated, and the soul power inside filled the skill space in less than 1 second. A gleam of light flashed in Lin Moyu's eyes. Found it. There really is a skill. The skill star core that could not be found no matter what before was now really found. The number wasn't large, only 3 skill star nuclei. It also represented his 3 level 80 skills. The previous skills were hidden by the Great World Rune in some way he couldn't understand. Now, without the interference of the Great World Rune, he could easily find them. Lin Mo didn't dare to delay even 0.1 seconds. As soon as he found them, the remaining dragon soul crystals were activated. Vast soul energy surged over, rushing into the skill star nuclei, trying to ignite them. The skill star nuclei began to glow, the laws of heaven and earth operated, and magical power descended from the sky, entering Lin Mo's body, passing through the soul world, and entering the skill space. Activating the skill star nuclei would inevitably cause resonance of the laws. At the moment of the law resonance, Lin Mo's soul body suddenly opened its eyes. The Great World Rune began to shine. 10,000. Chapter 711. Trash should have the awareness of trash. Antares let out a roar, his roar filled with fear. The Great World Rune suddenly awakened, something it hadn't expected. But fear was fear, Antares still took action immediately. Countless spots of light lit up in Lin Mo's body, each spot transforming into the appearance of a divine dragon. They were distributed in every corner of the body, connected to each other, intertwined and forming a large net. These were all Antares' arrangements. During the time he cooperated with Lin Mo, Antares had already prepared for unexpected situations like this one. The net came from Antares' power, filled with extremely profound laws, trying to delay the curse power of the Great World Rune. Stopping it was impossible, and Antares knew it. It knew very well how terrifying the Great World Rune was. There were many legends about the Great World Rune among the dragons, and each legend was incredibly mysterious. Many invincible powerhouses among the dragons disappeared on the path of searching for the Great World Rune and never returned. Antares was unwilling to have any contact with the Great World Rune, but for Lin Mo, it was going all out. It couldn't stop it could only try its best to delay it, buying more time for Lin Mo. Vast power carrying the laws formed a heavy defense, blocking in front of the Great World Rune. An unimaginable curse power drilled out of the rune and collided with Antares' defense net. The defense net instantly shattered and collapsed like tofu. Antares truly witnessed the power from the Great World Rune for the first time. This was the most original power in the Great World, the power everyone wanted to control. It was finally in contact with it, but as an enemy, it didn't know whether to be happy or sad. Antares groaned repeatedly. The defense net was built by it using soul power carrying the laws. The collapse of the defense net would also cause shock to its soul. Although it wouldn't be injured, it wouldn't feel good either. A look of madness appeared in Antares' eyes. I don't believe it, even if you're powerful, can't I even delay you? Antares roared again and again, pouring a large amount of soul power into it. It used nearly half of its soul power. At its level, half of its soul power was many times greater than Lin Mo's. Because of Lin Mo's talent for complete rebirth, Antares didn't need to worry about Lin Mo's safety. Its soul power carried terrifying laws, rushing in mightily. Like a needle against a wheat-on, it truly collided with the Great World Rune. Antares wasn't good at defense, it was best at offense. Dragon souls wrapped in laws formed countless weapons, engaging in a counterattack against the curse power of the Great World Rune. The two sides collided, and the vast power spread uncontrollably in all directions. A muffled sound came from Lin Mo's body, and the terrifying power caused damage to him. The undead legion died instantly. Antares' power was defeated at the moment of the collision, and the curse of the Great World Rune, like an indestructible spear, pierced through Antares' offensive. At this time, Antares was not afraid, it was even more crazy than before, laughing wildly, "Haha, I still made you a little slower, it seems you are not invincible." Antares' laughter was extremely crazy. Although it was defeated in the power collision with the Great World Rune, it also made the opponent pause. The pause time may have been less than 0.1 seconds, but Antares truly felt it. As long as it could pause for 0.1 seconds, it might be possible to pause for 0.2, 0.3 seconds, or even longer. Amidst the laughter, Antares once again stirred up power and rushed over. Invisible power unfolded a fierce battle, using Lin Mo's body as a battlefield. Lin Mo was unaware at this time, completely unaware of what was happening outside the skill space. It was fully activating the 3 skill star nuclei. Activating 3 skill star nuclei at the same time was quite a pressure. But it had no time to waste, it had to do it this way. Fortunately, it was well prepared, and the soul energy was extremely abundant. The 3 skill star nuclei were getting brighter and brighter, beginning to bloom with light. At this rate, they would be fully activated soon. The power of the laws came from outside, entered the skill space, and merged into the skill star nuclei. The skill star nuclei began to become active. The power of the laws pouring in was getting stronger and stronger, stronger than any time before. Lin Mo knew that these 3 skills must be powerful. Otherwise, the curse power brought by the Great World Rune would not stop him. It just didn't know what kind of skills his level 80 skills would be. Lin Mo was full of expectations. The laws of heaven and earth were still pouring in, and so was the soul energy. Dragon soul crystals were being consumed one after another. Suddenly, Lin Mo discovered that his clone had regained contact with the main body. Not good. Lin Mo realized that his main body had awakened for some reason. With the main body awakening, the Great World Rune would also inevitably awaken, leaving him little time. Lin Mo drank lightly, constantly stirring up soul energy, rushing into the skill star nuclei. He was speeding up, anxious. And in the outside world, Antares clashed with the Great World Rune again and again, constantly colliding. It had gone mad in battle, and terrifying energy swept across the entire primordial battlefield. It had spread to the lower space, and even part of it had entered the deep space. A roar came from the deep space, filled with anger and bloodlust. At this moment, whether it was the monsters and bosses in the upper space or the lower space, they were all trembling with fear. The monsters that were originally fighting fiercely with the human race suddenly all shrank back and dared not move. The human race professionals, dragons, and demons also felt a huge power descending from the sky, falling on them. The air became thick, and every breath became very difficult. The mist on Antares' body rolled non-stop, revealing its huge dragon body. The huge dragon body, more than 10,000 meters long, was entrenched on the ground, and its dragon scales stood upside down. A vortex appeared above its head, connecting to the deep space, and a roar came from it. Lightning and thunder, as if a terrible existence could drill out. "Shut up," Antares roared, "this matter is not for you, you stinky bug, to interfere with." Two golden lights shot out from the dragon's eyes, blasting away the vortex. As the vortex collapsed, a scream seemed to sound from it. Antares said with disdain, "How dare you interfere with my affairs? Trash should know its place. Come on, let's fight another 300 rounds." It roared, its fighting spirit soaring, and charged into Lin Mo's soul world again. The curse power of the Great World Rune continued to advance, and Antares 5.9 could only delay but not stop it. Antares knew that the limit of what it could do was just this. Antares went all out, but only delayed for less than a second. Just as the power of the curse was about to enter the skill space, another purple light flew from the depths of the soul. It was extremely fast, flying into Lin Mo's soul and accurately hitting the Great World Rune. The Great World Rune vibrated violently, and was ignited with a bang. The power of the curse that had already reached the skill space immediately stopped. The Great World Rune shone brightly, extinguishing the flames. Another full second passed like this. A spark of fire was more useful than Antares' efforts. A strange aura rose from Lin Mo's body, and his soul suddenly emitted an unusual light. Antares was the first to feel it, and couldn't help laughing loudly. "It's done, it's done. I won. It seems that the Great World Rune is not omnipotent." Chapter 712. Sooner or later, I will step on you. Antares' laughter shook the entire primordial battlefield. The earth trembled, the mountains and forests collapsed, and the ocean surged with huge waves, rising thousands of meters, as if to pierce the sky. It laughed wantonly, almost madly. Only Antares itself could understand its own feelings, and it could only express them with laughter. In the legends of the Dragon Clan, the Great World Rune represents the supreme, the extremely dangerous, and the extremely powerful. Contact with the Great World Rune means certain death. Just now, it had prepared itself for a desperate fight. But the result was not as bad as imagined. Not only did it not die, but it was also alive and well. It even had some insights in the battle with the Great World Rune. It knew that the Great World Rune was not completely unstoppable after all. With its power, although it could not compare to the Great World Rune, it could delay it for a little time. Even if it was only a second, it was considered a success. Lin Mo was completely shrouded in laws, and the laws of heaven and earth were continuously poured down, and the skill star core in the skill space was completely lit up. The skill was activated, and the power of the curse carried by the Great World Rune retreated and returned to the soul body to hibernate again. It is invisible when it is not activated. Even if Antares used the divine dragon eye of wisdom to search every inch, it would be impossible to find it. Only when it takes action can clues be found. The clone disappeared by 30%, and the main body's consciousness descended into the skill space. Looking at the increasingly bright skill star core, the consciousness also chuckled. "I won this battle, although I don't know why. No one can stop me. Even if it is the Great World Rune, I will tear you apart." The consciousness exited the skill space and returned to reality. Antares also stopped roaring at this time, and the previous roar seemed to be still echoing in the space. Lin Mo looked at Antares, and Antares also looked at Lin Mo. Lin Mo was about to speak, but Antares preemptively said, "Don't say thank you, that kind of empty stuff is useless." Lin Mo looked at the presumptuous Antares. I didn't intend to say thank you. Antares snorted. Then what are you going to say? Lin Mo said, you look a bit miserable, do you want to heal it? At this moment, the fog dissipated, and Antares's body was exposed to Lin Mo's sight. Antares was a little shriveled at this time, and the dragon scales on its body were drooping, like withered leaves. The soul power was consumed too much, and Antares looked a little listless. However, Antares seemed a little excited, shaking its big head. It's okay, it will be fine in a few days. While speaking, the fog reappeared, once again shrouding the dragon's body, only revealing a big head. Lin Mo said, how does it feel to fight against the Great World Rune? Although he didn't see the whole process, Lin Mo could imagine that it must have been dangerous at the time. Antares's eyes flashed brightly. It's very exciting, very cool. Lin Mo said, don't get too excited, there will be plenty of opportunities to be cool in the future. Antares widened its eyes. Are you saying, it will still stop you? Lin Mo nodded. I have had a vague feeling of being suppressed since level 60. The higher the level, the more obvious this feeling becomes, but it has never done anything. It wasn't until this time at level 80 that it really started to do something. Now that it has moved, it is impossible to only move once, and it will definitely appear in the future. Antares said in a deep voice, we were lucky this time, especially the last bit of purple starlight. I don't know where it came from, it was able to compete with the Great World Rune on equal footing. Lin Mo said, it came from the talent world. Antares looked at Lin Mo. It instinctively realized that Lin Mo had a big secret on him. Lin Mo saw the clue in Antares's eyes. I know I have a big secret on me, but I don't know what this secret is. I only caught a glimpse of the talent world. I will tell you as soon as I know. Antares nodded. Look at your new skill. How strong is the skill that even the Great World Rune wants to stop you from getting? Not only was Antares curious, but Lin Mo was also curious. At this time, the skill star core was completely lit up. When the laws of heaven and earth no longer poured in, the skill awakening was completely completed. The scene in front of him changed, and Lin Mo's vision was shrouded in a starry sky. In the starry sky, there were countless strong people, from various races, charging over overwhelmingly. The distance of hundreds of millions of miles was equal to nothing for these strong people, and they arrived in the blink of an eye. Some of them were like meteors, and some of them were glowing all over, colliding like stars. Countless skeletons were knocked flying along the way, unable to resist. It was still the Necromancer in the robe. He raised his staff high, and the silver gem on the staff shone brightly. The light illuminated the sky, and accompanied by an astonishing roar, tens of millions of skeletal dragons surrounded by flames flew out of the light. They fought with the strong people of various races, and the skeletal dragons were extremely powerful, and the strong people of various races were torn to pieces by the skeletal dragons. They spewed out dragon breath full of death, and large swaths of strong people turned into skeletons, eliminating flesh and blood, and died on the spot. The picture disappeared. Lin Mo's body trembled violently, and at the same time he looked at Antares, his eyes full of shock. Obtain skill. Summon skeletal dragon. Summon skeletal dragon, level 80, summons a skeletal dragon. It turned out to be summon skeletal dragon, a new summoning skill. Just by looking at the skill demonstration, you can feel the power of the skeletal dragon. It seemed that there were also dragons among the various races just now, and they were also killed by the skeletal dragons. Antares asked, what's wrong? You look very surprised, is the skill so strong? Lin Mo nodded, I'll look at the other skills, and we'll talk about it together later. Then he began to check the second skill. The scene before my eyes changed again. Lin Mo was slightly shocked. Each time a skill demonstration appeared, it meant that this skill was extremely powerful. The previous few skills were like this. But each time he awakened a skill, only one skill would appear with a demonstration. 1. Unexpectedly, both level 80 skills in a row were like this. It was still the starry sky just now, and the war was still going on. The starry sky was filled with bones, including those of powerful individuals from various races, as well as the undead. At this moment, the Necromancer raised his staff again. Mysterious clusters of silver-white flames appeared in the starry sky. The silver-white flames were the flames of the undead world, without warmth, but with an astonishing aura of death. These flames fell on the bones, and then the bones revived one after another. Flesh and blood regenerated, restoring them to their pre-death appearance in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, all the bones in the starry sky disappeared, turning back into powerful individuals of various races. However, the bodies of these powerful individuals of various races exuded a black aura, completely different from before. Lin Mo could see very clearly from God's perspective that these people did not seem like living beings. After being resurrected, the powerful individuals of various races quickly joined the battle, but they had turned their guns around and began to attack their own people. After being resurrected by the Necromancer, they became the Necromancer's subordinates, obeying the Necromancer's orders. Moreover, after resurrection, they were even more powerful than when they were alive. Countless more powerful individuals died at the hands of their former comrades. The scene before his eyes shattered and disappeared again, but the shock in Lin Mo's heart was hard to erase. This demonstration made him recognize the terror of the Necromancer. Using war to support war. This was the only phrase to describe it. Acquired skill, undead rebirth. Undead rebirth. Using corpses or souls as a medium, resurrect the target for a short period of time, making them your subordinates and enhancing their combat power. Resurrection duration, 24 hours. Chapter 713, A Skill with Infinite Possibilities. Lin Mo looked at the skill description, which was simple and unadorned. Lin Mo saw the power of the skill from the skill demonstration. The opponent's people became fewer and fewer, while his own people became more and more numerous, endless. It was not an issue for one person to fight an army. Moreover, the resurrected enemies had the exact same appearance as when they were alive, and their combat power was enhanced. The enemy's pressure was conceivable. This was another extremely powerful skill, no wonder the Great World Rune wanted to stop him. Lin Mo was very curious, what exactly had he done to provoke the Great World Rune? After all, he was just a small ant, extremely weak and inconspicuous. The level of the Great World Rune and himself was unknown how far apart. It wasn't worth it. The third skill appeared, and the scene before his eyes changed again. Third demonstration. Lin Mo roared softly, his whole body excited, his fists clenched. The fact that all three skills had demonstrations meant that all three skills were powerful skills. In fact, when the second skill appeared with a demonstration, Lin Mo had speculated that the third skill might also appear with a demonstration. When it actually appeared, Lin Mo still couldn't hide the excitement in his heart. It was still that starry sky, and still that battle. The battle had entered its final stage, and the powerful individuals of various races had basically been killed. Suddenly, a ball of flames flew over from afar in the starry sky. Not flying, but leaping. The flames exuded a scorching light, it was an extremely huge star. Each time the star jumped, it could leap over hundreds of millions of miles, just like teleportation. After several jumps, the star entered the battlefield. The star spewed out violent flames, instantly killing and injuring countless undead legions. Even the bone dragon could not withstand the burning of the flames and turned into charred ashes. Then, a large number of powerful individuals flew out from the star. The fact that these powerful individuals could live on the star represented their strength. Lin Mo had felt a similar aura before and recognized that each one was an invincible powerhouse. Exactly the same as those invincible powerhouses he had seen in the Source Secret Realm. As soon as they returned to the battle, the undead legion retreated steadily, without any resistance. The bone dragon also had no power to fight back in front of them. These existences were too heaven-defyingly powerful. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of millions of undead were destroyed, and the undead legion almost collapsed. The Necromancer raised his staff again, summoning countless undead again to reorganize the legion. Then, the staff glowed all over, bursting out with a different light. As the light sprinkled down, the undead legion began to reorganize. The skeleton berserker, skeleton sharpshooter, and skeleton archmage actually fused together. After the fusion, they became powerful skeletons that Lin Mo had never seen before. It was clad in armor, holding a fiery giant axe in its right hand, a shield of ice in its left hand, stepping on a whirlwind, and draped in lightning. Its aura was also very powerful. At the same time, a skeleton king appeared in the starry sky, not the skeleton king Lin Mo had seen before, far more powerful than the skeleton king Lin Mo summoned. The bone dragon and the headless knight combined together. The warhorse under the headless knight disappeared, and the bone dragon became a mount. The headless knight transformed into a dragon knight. The elemental liches fused together to form an elemental giant. All the halos were present. These existences all exuded an invincible aura. The battle broke out again, and the necromancer pointed his staff forward. With a buzz, red light sprinkled across the starry sky. Aging curse skill, Lin Mo instinctively thought, but denied the idea in the next second. It wasn't just a curse. In the red light, the originally burning star seemed to have suffered a very violent impact. Its flames began to jump sharply, extinguishing in a few seconds, and finally completely losing its flames and vitality. 10 seconds later, the star exploded, and the explosion swept across the starry sky. However, in the battle between invincible powerhouses, a star-level explosion was not lethal. The scene shattered and disappeared again, and the skill demonstration ended here. So far, Lin Mo had not fully understood this skill. Acquired skill, Infinite Fusion. Infinite Fusion. Fuse undead or skills to create new undead and skills. The fusion effect may weaken or greatly enhance depending on the fused undead and skills. It matched the skill demonstration. Necromancers used this skill to create an undead army at the invincible powerhouse level, and also created a skill capable of destroying stars. This skill is called Infinite Fusion, and naturally it has infinite possibilities. Lin Mo felt that the skill in the demonstration was far from its limit, and there were more possibilities waiting for him to explore and find. 2 powerful attack skills, 1 skill with infinite possibilities. The 3 ultimate skills of a level 80 class are too powerful. No wonder the Great World Rune wanted to stop him. Especially the last skill, which has infinite possibilities. As he grows stronger, this skill will become stronger and stronger. And now it's just a skill, it hasn't entered the soul yet, become a soul skill, become a spell. It can be further enhanced. As long as I am strong enough, even the Great World Rune can be trampled under my feet. The necromancer in the skill demonstration could do that, and so can I. Everyone is a necromancer, who would be worse than whom? Lin Mo was full of pride and had no fear of the challenges ahead. How is it? Antares' voice sounded, and Lin Mo's aura had completely calmed down at this time, and it knew that the skill had been mastered. Lin Mo said, I'll demonstrate it to you, first is the first skill. Skill. Summon Skeletal Dragon. Lin Mo raised his hand and pointed towards the distance, and the sky suddenly darkened. Even the colorful streamers in the sky were blocked. Antares' eyes narrowed slightly, and he murmured, Law. Lin Mo also felt the aura of Law. The aura was very faint, but it did exist. However, just a faint aura of Law is enough to prove the extraordinary nature of this skill. A ball of silver-white flame appeared in the sky, and there seemed to be a vortex in the flame. A dragon's roar rushed out of the stage vortex, and a strong undead aura spread out. Antares' eyes narrowed even more, it saw more, not just the dragon's roar, but also the dragon's breath. Immediately afterwards, the flame exploded, and a skeletal dragon surrounded by flames appeared in sight. The skeletal dragon roared to the sky, and the dragon's roar continued. It is about 5 meters long, surrounded by silver flames, similar to a giant dragon, but not as big as a giant dragon. It is too different from the skeletal dragon Lin Mo saw in the skill demonstration. It's simply a mini version. Antares frowned, I won half this as a dragon. Lin Mo nodded, skeletal dragon, it's only level 1 now, wait for me to practice it. Antares stared at the skeleton left and right, constantly looking at it. The aura is very pure, it seems to be a member of our dragon clan, but I have never heard of such a branch in the dragon clan. Lin Mo shrugged, indicating that he was not clear either. He began to practice the skill. In order to avoid future troubles, Lin Mo would upgrade the new skill to max level as soon as possible. Skeletal dragons are constantly summoned, and their levels are gradually increasing. It is a huge project to practice from level 1 to level 80. However, Lin Mo has the all-round connection talent, Zhao Li's, so he doesn't need to consider the problem of mental power. You can summon non-stop, and the skill upgrade speed is also amazing. As the skill level increases, the aura of the skeletal dragon becomes more and more massive, and the body shape becomes more and more huge. Lin Mo felt that this might be his last time practicing skills. The other 2 skills do not have levels and do not need to be practiced. 2 days later, he finally practiced the skill to level 80. Only at this time did Lin Mo begin to check the attributes of the skeletal dragon. Skeletal dragon, level 80, strength 1,800,000. Agility, 1,800,000. Spirit, 1,800,000. Constitution, 1,800,000. Skill, Death Dragon Breath, level 1. Death Dragon Breath Level 1 spews out dragon breath full of death energy, causing corrosive damage to the target. The attributes are very powerful, and after being blessed by the talent, it exceeds the world-class boss of the same level. Perhaps the vitality is not as good as the world-class boss, but looking at the body shape of the skeletal dragon will not be much different. Antares said in a deep voice, "Try attacking me." Chapter 714. Perverted, too unreasonable. New skills naturally need to be tested. Lin Moyu likes to experiment, and under Lin Moyu's infection, Antares is also full of interest in experiments. It does not hesitate to condescend and act as a guinea pig itself. If it hadn't spoken itself, Lin Moyu would have been embarrassed. Now, of course, is the best. The experiment is divided into 2 steps. The first step is for the skeletal dragon to spray dragon breath at Antares. Dragon breath is the most commonly used and most practical attack skill of the dragon clan. Dragon breath will cover an area and carry out indiscriminate group damage. The death dragon breath spewed out by the skeletal dragon covered an area of about 20 meters in radius, like a gray mist, which lingered for a long time. Antares felt the death dragon breath, and attacks of this level naturally could not hurt Antares. The dragon breath carries 2 forces, flame and corrosion, and both are not weak. I felt a trace of the taste of law, a negligible trace of law is integrated into it, enhancing the power of the skill. Purely in terms of attack power, it is about level 88, close to the god level, but not yet. However, it is also because of that trace of law, once injured by the dragon's breath, it may continue to be injured for a period of time. Antares' analysis is naturally correct. Lin Moyu summoned the Lich General and had the Lich General bless the skeletal dragon. Army 023 Core Enhancement Level 8 All attributes are increased by 80%, attack speed is increased by 80%, spell casting speed is increased by 80%, physical defense is increased by 80%, elemental defense is increased by 80%, and control resistance is increased by 80%. Try again. After having the status, the attributes of the skeletal dragon have been greatly improved, but due to Lin Moyu's restrictions, its total attributes have been limited to 9.99 million, and it has not been able to break through the 10 million level. The first attribute is more than 2.49 million, which is less than 2.5 million. Still maintaining a balance of 4 attributes. The skeletal dragon spewed out dragon breath again. After feeling it, Antares said, "The power has been improved, but not very much. It's very close to the god level, but compared to the real god level, it's still a bit short." Lin Moyu nodded. This is a restriction of the laws of heaven and earth, and he can't change it. Unless the summoned skeletal dragon skill can be transformed into a soul skill, it may be able to break away from the restrictions of the laws of heaven and earth. However, Lin Moyu is not in a hurry. As his level increases, the skill will naturally become stronger and stronger. Turning it into a soul skill and turning it into a spell is also a matter of time. The first skill was tested very simply, and Lin Moyu also had a bottom line for the combat power of the skeletal dragon. Then start testing the second skill. Lin Moyu said, "Get a corpse over here." This was an easy task for Antares. The mist rolled, and after a few seconds, several corpses fell from the sky, landing in front of Lin Moyu. They were all fresh corpses, killed and transported by Antares. Some of them were from the upper levels, not very strong. 2 of them were from the lower levels, and judging from their aura, they should be above level 70. There was also one from the lower levels, a huge ordinary boss, exceeding level 80. Antares had considered everything thoroughly, doing it in one step. Lin Moyu soul-locked these corpses and cast the second skill. Skill: Undead Rebirth. A ball of silver-white undead flames appeared in front of Lin Moyu, then exploded with a bang. The flames landed on the corpses, burning fiercely. Antares' eyes showed strangeness. Is this skill for burning corpses? Just 2 seconds later, with a soft sound, the corpses rose simultaneously. They were reanimated. Antares couldn't help but shrink his head back, the atmosphere becoming a bit eerie. Resurrection from the dead, even Antares had never seen it before. Dead is dead, how can someone who died come back to life? The original corpses were surrounded by flames, slowly standing up, their bodies constantly swaying. They opened their eyes, scanning their surroundings, as if they had really come back to life. After watching for a few seconds, Antares realized something was wrong. The state of these resurrected corpses was not right, their aura greatly enhanced, much stronger than when they were alive. especially that ordinary small boss, which now exuded an aura comparable to a lord-level boss. What exactly is this skill? Antares asked. Lin Moyu explained, the skill's name is Undead Rebirth. He explained it to Antares in detail, and Antares murmured, there's actually such a skill. Does this skill have any requirements for the time of death of the corpse? Like the previous corpse explosion, before it was transformed into a soul skill, it needed fresh corpses to exert the corresponding power. Lin Moyu shook his head, not sure. Wait a moment. Antares raised his dragon head, as if looking for something. Lin Moyu saw the mist rolling non-stop, as if a huge dragon claw was reaching out from the mist. A full half-minute later, Antares threw a skeleton out of the mist. This skeleton was extremely complete, even maintaining the posture before death. It should not have been touched after death. There were many golden light spots on the skeleton, and a powerful aura could still be felt. The owner of this skeleton must have been very powerful when alive. Lin Moyu looked at the appearance of the skeleton. Is this a savage beast? Antares hummed, the skeleton of a savage beast king. Its soul was obliterated at the time, but its body was not damaged and is relatively well preserved. After more than 1,000 years, the skeleton still hadn't decayed, which showed how powerful it was back then. The savage beast king was comparable to a high-level divine professional, and its own strength was at least level 96. Lin Moyu cast the Undead Rebirth skill again. A ball of flame landed on the skeleton of the savage beast king, burning fiercely. Antares stared at the bones, wanting to see what the remains of 1,000 years ago would become under Lin Moyu's skill. Next, it saw an amazing scene. Under the silver-white undead flames, flesh and blood actually began to regenerate. This was an incredible thing. A skeleton that had been dead for thousands of years was actually regaining life. Even Antares couldn't understand it. Lin Moyu's skill refreshed its worldview, allowing it to re-understand this world. The mystery of this world far exceeded its imagination. Antares, who claimed to know everything, suddenly discovered that there were still many things in this world that it didn't understand. In the blink of an eye, the savage beast king completed the regeneration of flesh and blood, leaping up from the ground. The savage beast king exuded an astonishing aura, with laws entwined around its body. It was not only resurrected, but also stronger than when it was alive. It was not only buffed by the skill, but also by Lin Moyu's talent because it became Lin Moyu's summon. Moreover, its combat power after resurrection was completely unaffected by Lin Moyu's own level. Antares judged that the resurrected savage beast king had about 98 levels of combat power, which was close to being a demigod. It was now Lin Moyu's summon and could be commanded by Lin Moyu at will. After a series of tests, Lin Moyu cancelled the skill. All the resurrected corpses disappeared without a trace with a gust of wind. Truly reduced to ashes. Pervert. No wonder the Great World Rune wanted to stop you, your skill is too heaven-defying. Chapter 715. What garbage is this? Antares screamed. The more you thought about Lin Moyu's skill, the more you realized how heaven-defying it was. If Lin Moyu had a corpse of a transcendent god, Lin Moyu could completely walk sideways in this world. Even if it could only be maintained for 24 hours, that would be enough. For a transcendent god, 24 hours was enough to do a lot of things. Killing the Dragon Emperor and destroying the Demon Emperor seemed to be within reach. Difficult to find corpses. Antares said it was not at all, there were corpses in the deep levels. Antares murmured, with this skill, you'll be guaranteed to survive in the deep levels. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, that's still early, I'm only level 80. I believe I'll be even stronger by then. When ordinary skills are transformed into soul skills, the skills can be further enhanced. Lin Moyu has always been confident in his strength. Antares shook his head, shaking off his shock. Come on, let's see your third skill. Lin Moyu said, I think the third skill is the most magical skill. It's not an attack skill, but it's more important than the first two skills. If I could only choose one of the three skills, I would choose to keep the third skill. The Great World Rune probably took action this time to stop this skill. Antares was intrigued. Oh, what skill is it? Infinite Fusion. Lin Moyu said in a deep voice. This skill is called Infinite Fusion. He explained the function of the skill, and Antares listened in surprise. Try it, Antares said. Lin Moyu nodded. Following the method in the skill demonstration, he summoned the Skeleton Berserker, Skeleton Archmage, and Skeleton Marksman. The number was not large, 100 of each. Then he cast the skill, Infinite Fusion. The three types of skeletons fused to form a new summon. A skeleton holding a sword in its right hand and a shield in its left hand appeared in front of Lin Moyu. It was wearing armor and was about 5 meters tall, taller and more majestic than any of the previous skeletons. From the appearance alone, it was too different from the skeleton in the skill demonstration. But Lin Moyu didn't know that it was because his level was too low, and there were too few skeletons to fuse. In fact, the fused skeleton in front of him was already very powerful, and the aura it exuded far exceeded level 80, it should have reached about level 85. 300 level 80 skeletons forming one level 85 skeleton, Lin Moyu didn't know if it was a profit or a loss. A skeleton god generala, A level, 85 A strength, 2,200,000 A agility, 2,200,000 A spirit, 2,200,000 A constitution, 2,200,000 A skill, annihilation strike A annihilation strike, unleashes 10 times its own power in damage, with a cooldown time of 1 minute. A skill, soul bombardment A soul bombardment, bombards the target's soul, with a cooldown time of 1 minute. The skeleton god general possesses 2 skills. It's a product of fusion, resulting in some incredible changes, somewhat different from the skeleton king. The skeleton king has a single skill with its own characteristics. Infinite fusion, on the other hand, allows for various changes. For example, Lin Moyu could discard the skeleton marksman and fuse only the skeleton berserker and skeleton archmage. If the number remains the same, the attributes might not change much, but the skills will definitely change. Different fusions will produce different results. The skeleton god general is buffed by the lich general's skills, but it still couldn't break through to level 90. The 9.99 million attributes still limit it. Currently, only soul skills can break through the level 90 limit, otherwise, he must wait until Lin Moyu himself reaches level 90. Then, Lin Moyu started various combinations, combining skeletons with headless knights. Combining headless knights with skeletal dragons. Combining skeletal dragons with skeleton archmages. The results varied in strength, and some results made Lin Moyu laugh and cry. Especially once when he combined a skeletal dragon with a skeleton mage, the result was a skeleton mage with a dragon's head. The attributes were pitifully low, even worse than a level 70 skeleton archmage. Infinite fusion has both good and bad outcomes, it's really hard to say. The skill demonstration already showed Lin Moyu several of the best combinations, others need to be explored by Lin Moyu himself. The skeleton god general and dragon knight are both very useful. But what Lin Moyu craved most was the skill that could destroy stars. That touch of red light was incredibly stunning. The red light should be the curse of aging. But what other skills are fused within it? There was no answer, he could only keep trying. Following his own ideas, with the curse of aging as the main component, he first fused the toxic starburst into it. Lin Moyu pointed towards the sky, and with a buzz, the skill was released. A hint of green was revealed in the red light. However, the skill emitted was very weak, and the damage was clearly insufficient. Antares shook his head, what is this thing, so trash? AAA0 seeking fresh flowers. Lin Moyu didn't give up, he fused the skeletal spear into it. This time, he couldn't even release the skill. A spark of fire emerged from Lin Moyu's fingertip, shooting out only half a meter before disappearing completely. Antares couldn't help but burst out laughing, his entire head fell to the ground, laughing so hard he couldn't catch his breath. Hey, do you have to be so funny? Lin Moyu was also surprised, he didn't expect such a result. Using the curse of aging as the main body shouldn't be wrong, Lin Moyu fused soul flame into it. Amidst Antares' laughter, Lin Moyu pointed his finger at it. With a buzz, red light filled the air, and Antares' laughter came to an abrupt halt. Its soul suffered a slight impact, although it wasn't painful, it was shocking enough. 0. Antares said in a muffled voice, this is a bit interesting, it's almost enough to instantly kill all professionals below level 83. Instantly killing existences below level 80 was not the result Lin Moyu wanted. Lin Moyu's ambition was great, this alone was far from enough. The experiment began again. Lin Moyu fused one skill after another with the curse of aging. After a series of experiments, the results were not ideal. It seems it's not a combination of 2 skills, but a combination of multiple skills. Lin Moyu thought of a possibility. However, combining multiple skills, even if only one skill is added, would require countless more experiments. But there was no other way, he could only try again and again. Lin Moyu began to experiment endlessly, gradually falling into a state of madness. Lin Moyu was ruthless to himself, only he knew it clearly. Antares looked at Lin Moyu with boredom, watching him experiment again and again, failing again and again. What a madman! In the end, Antares came to this conclusion. Then he smiled nonchalantly, I'm also a madman. Only two madmen would fight against the Great World Rune. Clearly, that was the most fundamental power in the Great World. In front of the Great World Rune, it and Lin Moyu were just two ants. But these two ants not only fought against it, but also managed to win. Antares felt that this matter was enough for him to brag about for 10,000 years. If one day he could truly step on the Great World Rune. Antares began to daydream, indulging in fantasy. Buzz. A red light lit up. Antares, who was fast asleep, was awakened. It exclaimed in shock, how can there be the law of time? Chapter 716 Be careful of being caught as a slave. The empty light in the air had not completely disappeared. Lin Moyu felt the aura of the law, but unlike Antares, he couldn't distinguish which law it was. Antares was awakened, its eyes filled with horror as it looked at the sky. The law of time. The four words seemed very heavy. Antares felt the law of time from the red light. Lin Moyu looked at Antares, is there a problem? Antares didn't answer him, do it again. It was still a little unsure, how could the law of time appear? Lin Moyu raised his hand and pointed towards the sky, the red light lit up. This time Antares was sure he wasn't mistaken, it was indeed the law of time. Towards me, do it. With all your strength, Antares said in a low voice. Lin Moyu didn't hesitate, he used the skill towards Antares. He knew that with his ability, he couldn't hurt Antares, so he didn't need to worry. The red light lit up on Antares' body, Antares shook its big head, its eyes suddenly narrowed, revealing a dangerous light. Then it let out a dragon's roar, shaking the heavens and the earth. When, a dragon scale fell from its body and landed on the ground. Antares looked at the fallen dragon scale and murmured, not bad. Lin Mo noticed that the dragon scale was slightly different, as if there were some cracks. His level was not high enough to understand. Lin Mo asked, what exactly is going on? Antares explained, a trace of the law of time is mixed in your skills, a very weak trace. It guided all your attacks into this dragon scale, and the dragon scale was affected and became decayed. Although Lin Mo didn't quite understand the law of time, he knew that it could affect Antares, and the power of the skill must be very strong. How powerful is it? Antares said, very good, it can basically kill all professionals below the god level in seconds. Even god level professionals can be severely injured. Your trace of the law of time has the characteristic of decay, and it has been almost decades in an instant. I'm very curious, how did you do it? Lin Mo said, I combined several skills. With the curse of aging as the main body of the skill, it incorporates the soul fire and the highly toxic starburst. Lin Mo's experiment of fusing skills has lasted for a full 7 days and nights. He tried all kinds of combinations. When he did it, he found that it was more than he imagined. Not only will different combinations of skills affect the fused skills, even the strength of the skills will have an impact. The same 2 or 3 skills, with different proportions of each skill, will produce completely different effects in the end. Lin Mo felt like he had become an alchemist of skills. Skills are potions. 1 point more is not enough, 1 point less is not enough, and 1 more or 1 less is even more impossible. At the same time, Lin Mo also discovered some situations. He can only fuse 3 skills at most. Once it exceeds 3, the entire fused skill will collapse. Lin Mo guessed that this limitation should be related to his level. It is also related to the infinite fusion skill itself. After all, it is still just an ordinary skill and has not yet entered the soul to become a soul skill. In addition, there is a limitation. Ordinary skills cannot be fused with soul skills. Once fused, the skill will inevitably collapse. Lin Mo tried it, and soul skills could not be fused with each other. The reason came from the infinite fusion skill itself. It is still just an ordinary skill. In other words, it is too weak to manipulate more powerful soul skills. After countless experiments for 7 days and nights, Lin Mo finally came up with such a skill. A skill formed by the fusion of the curse of aging, soul fire, and highly toxic starburst. The effect is not bad, but it is far from the skill of obliterating the stars. Lin Mo also wanted to integrate the corpse explosion, but unfortunately the skill did not allow it, so he had to give up. But he felt unsatisfactory, but in Antares's eyes, it was amazing. It is for the law of time brought by the skill. A negligible ray of the law of time can cause terrifying effects. The power of the skill is greatly increased, enough to kill non-god level professionals in seconds and severely damage low-level god level professionals. At Lin Mo's request, Antares used the skill several times again. Each time, Antares's dragon scale was injured. But Antares enjoyed the process very much. After trying 10 times in a row, Lin Mo finally asked, "Are you okay?" No one keeps looking for a fight, and still enjoys it. Antares's performance was very strange. Antares shook his head, "No problem, I am feeling the law of time." Lin Mo asked strangely, "Can you see this level of power?" Different. Antares shook his big head, "Although the attack power is low, the level is very high. That is the law of time. You don't know how many people dream of it. Do you believe it or not, if you go to the big world and tell others that you can have the law of time with less than god level attack? I guarantee that countless top powerhouses will come to you, catch you, and let you use this skill every day. Don't worry, even if you don't want to, they have ways to make you do what they say." Antares's words made Lin Mo feel a sense of trepidation, as if he would be treated as a slave. Lin Mo frowned, "Didn't you say that those top powerhouses are pursuing the runes of the big world?" Antares smiled, "Pursuing the runes of the big world is something that only a few top powerhouses can do, such as the old man you once met. Most top powerhouses will retreat to the second line and pursue the next level of power." Lin Mo was suddenly shocked, "Are you referring to the law of time?" Antares nodded, "It doesn't matter if I tell you, anyway, you have already been exposed to the law. There are thousands of laws, but there are also strengths and weaknesses among them. The law of time belongs to the top first echelon among many laws. The law of thunder and lightning that you are most proficient in belongs to a branch of the element law and belongs to the third echelon." Lin Mo was surprised, "So weak?" Antares hummed, "Almost. And the law of time steadily belongs to the first echelon, do you think it is strong?" Lin Mo thought of another law that he had been exposed to but had not mastered. "What about the law of life?" Antares said, "What kind of law of life is that? You haven't even touched the fur of the law of life. At most, you have some breath of the law of life, just an empty shell." Lin Mo also understood, 4.5 inches. What are the laws in each echelon? Antares shook his head, "There are too many laws, and I can't count them all, but I can tell you roughly. The first echelon has the fewest number of laws. The more famous ones are the 2 major laws of time and space, and then the 2 major laws of destruction and creation. The more famous ones in the second echelon are laws such as killing and life. The third echelon is some element laws, wind, fire, electricity, and light are among them. The gap between each level of law is greater. The real top existence is pursuing the runes of the big world. But how easy is it to pursue the runes of the big world? The next best thing is to pursue the laws in the first echelon. Now you understand. Lin Mo is not stupid, how could he not understand? Lin Mo said slowly, "It seems that the more powerful the law, the more illusory it is." 717th chapter. Blood can flow, sharpness cannot be lost. Lin Mo hit the nail on the head and went straight to the core. The weaker the law, the more specific it is. Like wind, water, and fire, they can all be felt in reality, and they are the easiest to comprehend. And light and darkness are relatively ethereal, and the difficulty of comprehension will also increase. Also in the third echelon, the laws of light and darkness are also more powerful. In the third echelon, in addition to some visible element laws, there are also some invisible laws. Such as the laws of dream and sleep. Then rising to the second echelon of laws, it is completely invisible and intangible, and can only be comprehended indirectly. The same is true for the first echelon, and it is even more difficult. Lin Mo said, "My teacher seems to have comprehended the law of killing." Antares said, "It's the little guy who uses the knife. He feels the law of killing intent. If he can go further in the future, he can be promoted to the law of killing. Laws can also be promoted." Lin Mo felt a little novel. How can laws be promoted? Like the law of thunder and lightning that he has the most contact with, what can it be promoted to? Antares said, "For example, your teacher, his current law of killing intent, will have the opportunity to be promoted to the law of killing in the future. There is also a 30 who uses his fists, what he comprehends is the law of giant force, and he will have the opportunity to be promoted to the law of power in the future. There's also one who uses formations, and he has 2 advancement directions, body formation and rune formation. Lin Moyu then asked, what about elemental laws? Elemental laws can also be advanced. For example, the law of fire has the chance to become stellar fire, eternal fire, or undying fire. Your specialty, the law of lightning, also has the chance to advance to star-exploding lightning, 9-cycle purple lightning, heaven-destroying lightning, and so on. But let me give you a suggestion: if you have the chance, focus on comprehending the law of time. Compared to the law of time, these other miscellaneous laws are all trash. The law of time wasn't so easy to comprehend. Just look at Antares' appearance to know. Even it couldn't comprehend it, so even if he could, it would take a lot of time. So before that, he still needed to have a skill to rely on. How many types of laws can one comprehend? Lin Moyu asked. Antares chuckled, you can comprehend as many as you want, but the more laws you comprehend, the greater the difficulty. Generally, people specialize in 1 or 2, otherwise if you comprehend a little of this and a little of that, in the end, you'll only touch the surface. Time will pass, lifespan will end, and everything will be in vain. Antares was like a senior, sincerely guiding Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu kept its words in mind. Do you want to continue comprehending the law of time? I can continue. Antares shook its head. No need. Your law of time is too weak right now, you won't comprehend anything. When your law of time is strong enough in the future, you can let me comprehend it. Besides, this isn't a matter of a day or 2, it might not be enough to comprehend it for several years or decades. You can't afford to waste that time right now. Lin Moyu really couldn't afford to waste time right now. Wasting 10 days or half a month wasn't a big deal. But wasting more than 10 years was indeed something he couldn't bear. Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony. In the future, when I'm free and my laws are stronger, I'll let you comprehend them properly. Antares snorted, all right, you can scram now. Where do you want to go? I'll send you there. Lin Moyu thought for a moment, his eyes bursting with intense killing intent. Can you send me to the Dragon Clan? Antares asked strangely, didn't you reach an agreement with Lillian? The Dragon Clan's affairs should be left to her. Are you not planning to cooperate with her? Lin Moyu shook his head, the cooperation will continue, but I have my own ideas. Some things cannot be done by others. I'll do one part, Lillian will do another, and another part will be left to the human clan. The human clan's vigor cannot disappear because of this, and hatred cannot end because of my cooperation. To end the hatred, it must be done by the human clan themselves, even if it costs blood, even if there are sacrifices. I can fuel the flames, but I can't do it for them. The human clan's hatred has accumulated for so many years, and it should finally be ended by them. We humans have a dream in our hearts, which is to invade the Abyss world and personally eliminate the Abyss demons. Lin Moyu said a lot, all from the bottom of his heart. Antares pondered for a long time, indicating that it didn't quite understand. Its thinking was simple, not so complicated. But if it was as Lin Moyu said. Antares said, have you thought about it? If you choose this way, the human clan might suffer considerable casualties. Lin Moyu nodded, I know, but some things must be ended by them personally. Lin Moyu spoke decisively, and Antares didn't say anything more. Although it still couldn't understand, it unconditionally supported Lin Moyu's actions. Who told them to be friends? Lin Moyu had his own considerations. The human clan's hatred for the Abyss demons had already accumulated too deeply. If one day they suddenly told the human clan that the Abyss demons and the Dragon Clan had a great war, and both sides were defeated and destroyed, the human clan would suddenly lose its target, which wouldn't be a good thing for the entire race. With their sharpness exhausted, the human clan might completely lose its edge. Lin Moyu didn't want to do this. He wanted the human clan to continue to maintain its previous sharpness, moving forward towards a wider sky. After knowing so much information, he was very clear that the Abyss demons and the Dragon Clan were nothing. This was just a fragmented world, insignificant cannon fodder. Perhaps in the future, the human clan would face even stronger and more terrifying opponents, and they couldn't lose their sharpness. This decision wasn't made by Lin Moyu alone, but was decided after discussing it with Meng Anwen and others. Meng Anwen and Lin Moyu had the same view. The human clan wasn't afraid of bloodshed. They had shed a lot of blood over the millennia and weren't afraid to do it again. But the human clan couldn't lose its sharpness 363. The dragon clan's world was very different from the human clan's world. The sky here was a dark red color, and the air was filled with a strong fire element, along with the smell of sulfur. Lin Moyu had seen descriptions of the dragon clan's world in the limited information he had. The dragon clan's world was divided by elements, with each element occupying a separate area. In the center of the dragon clan's world was the Dragon Emperor's palace. He was currently in the fire element area. The dragons born here were basically proficient in the fire element. Lin Moyu didn't act directly after entering the dragon clan, but began to replenish the undead legion and the bone dragons. Since mastering the skill to summon bone dragons, an additional characteristic of a dragon nest had appeared. The function of the dragon nest was exactly the same as the summoning space and the lich space, which was to accommodate bone dragons. The current number of dragon nests was 1,000, indicating that Lin Moyu could summon 1,000 bone dragons. Like skeletons, bone dragons could enjoy the skill bonus of the lich generals and possessed combat power infinitely close to the god level. It could be said that they were Lin Moyu's strongest summons besides the Skeleton King. After reaching level 80, not only had his own attributes greatly increased, but all his skills had been comprehensively improved. The comprehensive amplification talent had reached level 9, achieving a 90-fold increase for most skills. The undead legions had also become more powerful. Chapter 718, It's Lin Moyu, He's Invaded. Antares silently sent Lin Moyu into the dragon realm. In this fragmented world, according to the different elements gathered, it was divided into several regions. The area where Lin Moyu was located was filled with fire elements. The dragons born here were naturally very close to the fire element. Lin Moyu stood on the edge of a volcano, where lava flowed and the temperature was extremely high. Lin Moyu's appearance didn't attract the attention of any dragons. Even in the fragmented world, there was vast land. Lin Moyu didn't act, he began to summon the undead. One skeleton after another was replenished, the yin wind was blowing, and the silver-white flames exploded, covering the original red lava world. Accompanied by the roar of dragons, bone dragons flew out of the silver-white flames. At level 80, the summoning space had greatly increased and could accommodate 4,400 undead. Lin Moyu could summon 60 lich generals, each of whom could control 4,400 undead. The total number of undead legions reached 264,000. Lin Moyu distributed them evenly, with 3 types of skeleton soldiers, plus headless knights, each with 66,000. In addition to the increase in data, the attributes of the skeletons and headless knights had also greatly improved. There was an increase in basic attributes, as well as an increase in talent bonuses. The combat power of each skeleton had become much stronger, and with the substantial increase in number, the overall strength of the undead legion had increased by at least 30%. If the newly added bone dragons were included, the combat power had increased by more than 100%. While summoning, Lin Moyu pondered about the Great World Rune. The Great World Rune suppressed his strength, suppressed his class, and suppressed his skills. That's why the skeletons' stats were so low. If it weren't for the existence of the all-around amplification talent, he would only be able to overcome other same-level professionals by relying on numerical superiority. It would be impossible to complete a challenge against a higher level. His growth trajectory would also be completely different. If one day, I get rid of the curse of the Great World Rune, I wonder how strong I'll be. The curse suppression should be all-encompassing, perhaps I am also restricted in other aspects. Recalling the skill demonstration, the undead army that filled the galaxy, the dragon knight who could fight against invincible powerhouses, and the skeleton god general. Lin Moyu felt that that was how his class should be. But then he thought of the old man riding the green ox, the invincible powerhouses turning to ashes with a wave of his hand, depicting a tranquil picture. That scene without the slightest hint of worldly affairs seemed to be another realm. Lin Moyu calmed his excited mood, his future path was still very long. In the fiery red world of flames, silvery white occasionally appeared. The temperature of the lava could not hide the chill of the yin wind. Large swaths of flowing lava began to solidify, turning into molten rock. The sky became even darker, with dark clouds looming, and the area was constantly expanding. In just half a day, it had already enveloped an area of dozens of kilometers. The peculiar changes finally attracted the attention of the dragon race. Some dragon race members came to investigate. As they approached the dark clouds, the dragon race members heard the sound of dragon roars coming from within. Dragon roars, the dragon race was all too familiar with them. Moreover, the dragon roars coming from the dark clouds seemed to be even more noble than their own. Their bloodlines stirred, as if a lower-level race had encountered a higher-level race. The dragon race began to get excited. Could it be the ancestors? Is it a treasure brought by the ancestors? Or is it that a sleeping ancestor has awakened? This news spread quickly among the dragon race. Some dragon race members couldn't resist their curiosity and ventured into the dark clouds. As the news spread, more and more dragon race members gathered. They crowded in the air, flapping their wings, making flapping sounds. The dragon race members who had entered the dark clouds earlier had not come out. The dark clouds were full of mystery. The dragon roars coming from the dark clouds became more and more intense, as if countless dragons were flying inside. Finally, a dragon king arrived. A dragon king came to the front of the dark clouds, frowning tightly. What intense death aura! The dragon king's vision was extremely sharp, far from being comparable to ordinary dragon race members. At a glance, he could see that this cloud was composed of terrifying death aura. He had never seen such an astonishing death aura. Ordinary creatures could not survive in this situation. When the death aura was concentrated to a certain degree, it possessed amazing corrosiveness. He soon heard that none of the dragon race members who had previously entered the dark clouds had come out. He hesitated, not knowing whether to go in or not. The death aura was really too strong, it was very dangerous. In the very center of the dark clouds, Lin Moyu's gaze penetrated the death aura, seeing the situation outside. After more than half a day, the undead legion was finally fully replenished. The dragon race members who had come in earlier had long been turned into withered bones under the dragon breath of the skeletal dragon. Almost there, it's time to make a move. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and a ball of silvery white flame rose in his hand. The flame exploded, landing on the bodies of the dragon race members who had just been killed. Skill: Undead Rebirth. These dragon race members had already been burned into white bones by the skeletal dragon's dragon breath. Now in the flames of undead rebirth, their flesh and blood were reborn, resurrected again, returning to the world. Death was death, what was resurrected was only the appearance, only the power, even stronger power. Lin Moyu's heart stirred. Let you try killing each other first. His words revealed a hint of cruelty. Following Lin Moyu's will, these resurrected dragon race members rushed out like crazy. The dark clouds churned, causing waves, immediately attracting the attention of the dragon race members outside. Then they saw a group of dragon race members rushing out of the dark clouds, all of whom had entered earlier. They're okay. The Dragon King's eyes narrowed, subconsciously feeling something was wrong. These returning dragon race members were also filled with a strong death aura, and their skin and dragon scales were covered by death aura, turning gray-white. A dangerous feeling arose spontaneously. Retreat quickly. He roared, but it was too late. After being resurrected, these dragon race members had become much stronger, especially the all-around amplification talent had also had an effect on them. Their combat power had at least increased dozens of times. They charged into the dragon race crowd at an alarming speed, launching a massacre. It was a real massacre. Dragon race members of the same level were no match for them at all. In an instant, hundreds of dragon race members fell. Stop! The Dragon King took action in anger. At this time, the dark clouds churned again, and a Skeleton King appeared in the air. The Skeleton King exuded an amazing aura. Its combat power was determined by Lin Moyu's soul level king, reaching level 93. The Dragon King felt that he was locked on. He personally saw the Skeleton King raise his long sword. The feeling of danger rose to the extreme. Escape. Will die. The Dragon King turned around and fled without thinking, but it was too late. The Skeleton King swung his sword down. The Dragon King fell from the sky with a scream. His body was almost cut in two. Immediately afterwards, the elements on his body exploded, and the terrifying elemental explosion engulfed him. In the brilliant elemental explosion, he saw countless skeletal dragons surrounded by silvery white flames flying out of the dark clouds. After the giant dragons, there was also a vast and astonishing undead legion. Lin Moyu. It's Lin Moyu, he's broken in. He finally knew who the enemy was, but it was too late. Killed the Dragon King, experience plus. General Star +1. Roar. At the same time that Lin Moyu received the message, he had already closed his eyes forever. Note: the protagonist and summons level 80 attribute skills. I put them in the related works, you can check them yourself. The skeletal dragon was in front, the headless knight behind, charging out from the dark clouds. The skeletal dragon breathed dragon breath, and any dragon touched by the breath would be burned into withered bones in the blink of an eye. The skeletal dragon's breath also contained corrosive power. Flames from the undead world burned the body and corroded the soul, making it incredibly terrifying. Even a slight touch would be difficult to get rid of. Those with extremely good luck would still suffer severe damage. The dragon from the undead world demonstrated its power at this moment. With 1,000 skeletal dragons unleashing their slaughter, the battle showed a one-sided trend from the beginning. The dragons fell from the sky like rain, burned to charred bones amidst screams. In the blink of an eye, the dragons gathered outside the dark clouds either fled or died, leaving behind thousands of corpses, scattered without a trace. Those surviving dragons, filled with fear, carried the news to the entire dragon race. The invasion of undead monsters, needless to say, everyone knew who had come. 797. The dark clouds gradually dissipated, and Lin Mo flew out. He unleashed skills, throwing out large patches of fire. The undead rebirth skill was cast repeatedly, exploding with flames across the sky. The dragons who had died earlier were collectively resurrected, becoming members of the undead army. They were not commanded by the Lich General, they accepted Lin Mo's direct orders. These resurrected beings only existed for 24 hours, true cannon fodder. Lin Mo's arrival to the dragon race this time brought destruction. This scene was very similar to when the dragon race first came to this world. At that time, the human race and the gods had just finished a great battle, suffering heavy losses. The dragon race and demons also brought destruction and disaster at that time. If the dragon race and demons hadn't arrived at the same time, causing conflict between them, the human race would have been destroyed long ago. Even with Antares present, the human race could have preserved their seed, but they would have been devastated. Now, Lin Mo, alone, was doing the same thing. He brought destruction and disaster to this fragment world. Invaders will eventually pay the price. You are like parasites, attached to the world, devouring the world's flesh and blood. So many years have passed, it's time to repay, and interest will be added. Lin Mo murmured. Wherever he passed, dragons died and were resurrected, becoming Lin Mo's most loyal thugs. They became more powerful, devoid of emotion. They would turn their blades against their own kind, slashing down mercilessly. Lin Mo wanted the dragon race to taste the flavor of self-destruction. Facing enemies, Lin Mo was cold-blooded. Having dealt with undead creatures for the past 2 years, Lin Mo had a very clear understanding of life and death. Life is normal, and death is also normal. Even death does not necessarily mean the end. Didn't the undead rebirth skill revive the dead? As for whether the revived are still the same as before, does it matter? At least for Lin Mo, it didn't matter at all. They became his tools, tools for slaughtering the dragon race, tools for leveling up. At this moment, Lin Mo transformed into the Grim Reaper, wandering the world. Wherever he went, the land was barren, and the dead were resurrected. Lin Mo didn't know the dragon race's map, but the direction in which the dragons fled had become Lin Mo's best guiding beacon. Lin Mo sped off in the direction they were fleeing, and soon he saw a huge city. The dragons were generally much taller than humans. A height of 3 meters was common among dragons, and 4 or 5 meters was not uncommon. Correspondingly, their cities were also much larger than human cities. They built tens of meters high walls around the city, and huge magic crystals were placed on the walls. The city was already on alert, and alarm bells were ringing. The formation was deployed, surrounding the entire city. The formation allowed no entry but no exit, a common trick used by the dragon race. Lin Mo had already seen it on the dragon race's warships, and obviously the city's defenses were much stronger than the warships. Not only were the defenses stronger than the warships, but the attack system was also much stronger. After all, the size of the warships was limited, and the huge magic crystals on the city could tell the difference. Lin Mo stopped his team 10,000 meters away from the city. He communicated with Antares. I'm going to slaughter the city. Antares' sleepy voice came. Slaughter it, no need to report to me. Lin Mo said, although they are mixed blood dragons, they are still dragons after all, with dragon blood. Don't you mind? Antares laughed. Those guys subordinates, I can't wait for you to kill all these mixed blood dragons. Kill them quickly, no need to give me face. Got it. Lin Mo's last trace of concern disappeared. At his command, the undead army launched a fierce attack on the Dragon City. The Dragon City also launched a fierce counterattack at the same time. Charging at the front were the resurrected dragons through undead rebirth. Carrying the aura of death, they launched the most violent offensive against their own kind. The sky was filled with rolling clouds and fog, and the skeletal dragons swooped down, spewing dragon breath at the city. The dragon breath landed on the formation shield, burning with intense undead flames. Almost instantly, the city turned into a silvery white ball of fire. Under the corrosive power of the undead flames, the dragon race's city defense formation was crumbling. The battle entered a white-hot stage at the moment of its outbreak. The dragon race's city counterattack was very fierce, and thousands of resurrected beings suffered heavy casualties in an instant. However, Lin Mo didn't feel sorry at all. These guys were originally cannon fodder. He knew that as the battle progressed, the ranks of the resurrected would become larger and larger. The dragon race would soon experience what is called fear. Among the cannon fodder team composed of resurrected beings, one was extremely powerful. It withstood the attacks from the city and launched a violent bombardment-like attack on the city's formation. It was the previous Dragon King, who also became a resurrected being after being killed. It seems that without the Dragon Crystal, the impact on the Dragon King's strength is not small. After its death, the Dragon Crystal was taken away, and then resurrected again through undead rebirth. After strengthening and talent bonuses, its strength did not increase further. The Dragon Crystal weakened its combat power, but various bonuses increased its combat power. Back and forth, it was a tie. Its strength was about the same as before its death. Lin Mo held the Staff of Genesis in his right hand, and he was delivering the Dragon Crystal to the Staff of Genesis in his left hand. The life core absorbed the energy of the Dragon Crystal and began to repair itself. This time, I should be able to repair the life core. Lin Mo thought to himself. Once the life core was repaired, there might be a chance to revive the God of Life. Even if it doesn't work, he can rely on the complete 0.4 Staff of Genesis to create a new God of Life. The God of Life has the ability to heal the injuries of the gods. Then some of the former human comrades, those gods can also wake up from their slumber. This matter is a series of interconnected events. Lin Mo Yu was still thinking about those human ancestors in the corpse realm, the human predecessors who had saved his life with their supreme will. If there was a chance, Lin Mo Yu would also like to revive them. As his strength improved, Lin Mo Yu knew that the chance of resurrection was not non-existent, but it was very difficult. Unless they were truly annihilated, there would always be a glimmer of possibility. Boom! With a fierce explosion, the formation guarding the city finally burst open. Dragon breath carrying death turned the entire city into a sea of AA fire. The undead army stormed into the city and launched a ruthless massacre. Experience began to skyrocket once again, the speed not much slower than killing Thunder Tree groups. Chapter 720. Bold, you dare to seek death. The news of Lin Mo Yu entering the dragon world had completely spread. The entire clan was in an uproar, their killing intent soaring to the sky. Since they descended into this world, no human had ever invaded the dragon world. The various defense systems in the Dragon City were built 1,000 years ago, which was also because the Abyss demons had invaded at that time. Human race, what is that? With the strength of the human race, it would be impossible to invade the dragon world even after another 1,000 years. The human race's defense system was modeled after the dragon race and the Abyss demons. In the eyes of the dragon race, the human race was synonymous with weakness and inferiority, their rations. Now, a human race had brazenly invaded the dragon world. This was simply slapping all the dragon race people in the face. The slap from 1,000 years ago still hurt, and now a second slap had been thrown. How could they endure this? For a time, all the dragon race people shouted to kill Lin Mo Yu and grind him to ashes. The dragon race collectively mobilized, quickly assembled, and headed towards Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu couldn't wish for more, the more the better. The first city was destroyed, the dragon race in the city died and was injured, without a single survivor. Lin Mo Yu saw a few dragon eggs. The dragon eggs should have had life, but under the dragon's breath, they did not survive. I should keep some dragon eggs and take them back to roast, the taste of roasted dragon eggs might not be bad. Lin Mo Yu used the undead rebirth skill and waved out countless flames. For a time, silver-white flames burned in every corner of the city, and a large number of resurrected beings were reborn from the flames. There were not many dragons in this city, no more than 20,000 in total. Compared to the undead legion, an army of 20,000 resurrected beings was not much. But having more than 20,000 cannon fodder, why not do it? The army continued to advance, leaving behind only the city that had become ruins. The team advanced very quickly, and soon saw the second city. Lin Moyu saw from afar that the sky above the city was a dark mass, and the dragon army was quickly assembling. Warships were connected one after another, as many as hundreds of ships. The warships were also filled with dragon soldiers. At a rough glance, the number of troops exceeded 100,000. Plus the garrison in the city, I am afraid the number can accept 200,000. They were waiting in full battle, just waiting for their arrival. They are fast. Lin Moyu smiled, looking relaxed, without any tension. The ultimate result of the 200,000 dragon race would be that his army of resurrected beings would expand to 200,000. Using war to support war, letting the dragon race kill each other, he would become the nightmare of the dragon race. Kill. Lin Moyu whispered a sentence, and the army launched an attack. Rushing in the front was still the dragon race's resurrected army. The 20,000 dragon race resurrected army rushed to the front of the city like a sharp sword. How could it be our own people? What did Lin Moyu do? Why is this happening? This guy is too hateful, he is actually manipulating our people, kill him, we must kill him. The dragon race people roared madly. They instantly understood Lin Moyu's intention, which was to make them kill each other. Lin Moyu didn't use any conspiracies or tricks, he just put it on the surface with a knife and a gun. Faced with the charge of their own people, the dragon race was also helpless and could only open fire. The magic crystal hummed and operated, emitting a bright light. Hundreds of dragon race warships flashed at the same time, stimulating a strong attack. A large number of resurrected beings were killed. The resurrected beings had no fear, did not know life and death, they withstood the fierce attack, killed to the front of the city, and began to attack the city. The dragon's roar sounded in the air, and the skeletal giant dragon swooped down rapidly, spewing dragon's breath. The undead legion followed closely behind and began to attack. The siege scene like the previous city was staged again. The difficulty of this siege has been slightly increased, but for Lin Moyu, it just took a little more time. The space around him suddenly twisted, and 6 dragon kings appeared in front of Lin Moyu at the same time, surrounding him. I have been waiting for you for a long time. Lin Moyu chuckled. The sky suddenly darkened, the skeleton king's throne descended, the skeleton king dragged his great sword and stood up, locking onto the 6 dragon kings. This time it was not one skeleton king that appeared, but 2. One of them used 100,000 skeletons, and the other used 90,000 skeletons. No matter which skeleton king, they all reached the level of level 93. After level 80, the attributes of the skeletons have been greatly improved, and the skeleton king has naturally also been improved. The limitation is still on Lin Moyu, still because Lin Moyu's soul level restricts them. There are also great world runes. Otherwise, Lin Moyu believed that the skeleton king could be stronger. 2 skeleton kings appeared, and at the same time wielded their swords, using the god-slaying strike. Lin Moyu also gave a light shout at the same time, and his whole body burst into a brilliant light. Soul skill. Gathering power. Attribute limit sword, brilliantly sublimated, instantly raising his power to the level of level 93. He took out a pair of giant swords and transformed into a warrior. In the skill demonstration, necromancers are far away from the battlefield, holding a scepter, like a commander, a marshal. And Lin Moyu is more like a general who personally enters the battlefield, going back and forth on the battlefield. The 6 dragon kings were stunned by the scene in front of them. How did Lin Moyu seem to know that they were coming, and had prepared in advance? Skill. Godslayer. Lin Moyu used the god-slaying strike almost at the same time as the skeleton king. The target was these 6 dragon kings. The dragon kings screamed in horror, their bodies instantly cut off. There was no need to use elemental riots to make up for the knife, the 6 dragon kings were instantly killed. Kill dragon king, experience plus ***, will be +1. 6 messages popped up in a row, and the experience soared a big chunk. The nearby skeletons ran over, and took the dragon crystals from the dragon king's corpses with great skill. Then a ball of flame exploded, splitting into 6 and falling into the 6 dragon king corpses respectively. The dragon kings began to revive, their severed limbs began to reconnect. Lin Moyu didn't wait for the result, he led the 2 skeleton kings to attack the city. A fierce battle was going on in the city, and the arrival of Lin Mo Yu and the two skeleton kings completely broke the balance. The power of the divine rank was difficult for the city's formation to resist. The huge elements exploded on the formation, and the formation shattered with a bang. Soul skill, strong 660 soldiers. Lin Mo Yu used the strong soldier's skill, and his soul power was greatly consumed. Even though he is now level 80, and his soul power has greatly increased, he can only maintain it for 6 seconds under the dual blessing of focus and strong soldiers. However, now there are a large number of enemies for him to slaughter, and the consumption of soul power can be continuously replenished, so there is no need to consider the duration of the skill. Lin Mo Yu transformed into a warrior and entered the dragon city, and the real slaughter began. Without the protection of the city's formation, the dragons became lambs to be slaughtered. The battleships in the sky were targeted by the bone dragons and the skeleton kings, and one after another they fell. Soon, the 6 dragon kings who had just been killed became revivers and joined the battle. They had the power of their previous lives, the power of the divine rank. The battle was completely locked, and the fate of the dragons in the city was already doomed. Nearly 200,000 dragon members, with varying levels, the lowest being only level 40, and the highest reaching level 80. Under the butcher knife of the undead legion, the outcome was exactly the same. Experience soared, and in a blink of an eye, it had risen by 70%. As long as another city is slaughtered, he can reach level 81. Lin Mo Yu's eyes were full of killing intent, he was using the dragons to level up. In the soul world, the domain god stone kept spinning, constantly absorbing the killing intent, and the black killing intent became more and more intense. In the Dragon Clan's hinterland, the Dragon Emperor received the news. Bold, dare to come and die. A roar came from the Dragon Emperor's palace, and then a divine dragon pierced through the sky.